You are now listening to a Light Club exclusive. This is a world premiere. Now make some noise for two bad boys, the real Blazed and Surveillant. This is Light Dubs. And that's a big ass twist.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome back to Light Dubs episode 4 with some very special guests, Facemask and MX. Very glad to be here. How are you guys doing today? Facemask, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine today, actually. It's I've had my birthday just today now, so
Wait, it's your
I've been
birthday today?
celebrating. Yes, it is. I've been
did-
celebrating today.
Yeah, you didn't even tell us. What the heck?
I did tell you, but you didn't listen to me. So
I guess I guess
Blaze was taking a piss.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was in the bathroom. I'm sorry. But happy birthday, Facemask. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And happy birthday, Grunag, as well. MX, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Woke up about 2 hours ago, thinking about Grunag Prio, of course. Happy birthday, Grunag. And just existing.
Okay. I see you got a really nice room there. How any inspirations on that?
This bald guy once showed me his room, and I felt inspired. So.
Interesting. Looks pretty cool,
Wow.
honestly. I like the lights. Honestly. Nice. So Facemask. How long you been playing WoW? Do you strictly play Paladin? What's the deal? What kind of classes do you play?
I've been playing like from this like 2005 something when it came out in EU, and at first I played a priest, and I stuck with that. I wanted to play. Well, I didn't want to play healer, but I was forced to play healer, so I played the priest for like a good 2-3 years, and I swapped to DK, and now I'm back on. Well, I'm not back on Paladin. I'm on Paladin now. I played DK priest and Paladin. So yeah, that's my history.
DK Priest and Paladin. Okay. MX, what about you, my man?
So I started playing pretty young. Like for the first time, I started playing in Wrath. Didn't play Ret Paladin. I had no clue what I was doing. I was probably like 10 years old or something. I've played on and off since then. I came back in MoP, best expansion, by the way, and still played Ret Paladin. And now I play on and off like Priest and Shaman here and there, but mainly still just Ret Paladin the whole time, every expansion.
So you're a MoP fan?
Yeah, MoP Fresh One.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Really? What about you, Facemask? What's your favorite expansion? I'm curious.
It's probably Wrath, actually,
Wrath.
but it's because I was a teenager, and like all the best memories from the gaming and game was then, because you had all the time in the world to play in high school, So
Yeah.
it's probably just rose tinted goggles, but that's when I had the most fun in the game.
What about you, sir? I'm curious. I actually think you're TBC just like me, though.
I mean, back before I was a fugitive from the law in 11 states, I played a lot of TBC with my friends. On private servers. Warmain. Shout out to Warmain. All my Warmain boys know that it's the best server that ever existed. No cash shop, by the way. And
Shout out Twist.
Number 1 NA guild, no cash shop. Shout out Twist. And I'm a sucker for Maru. I'm a certified Maru slayer, so I put that on all my job applications and stuff like that.
Is that why you're a fugitive in 11 states? You're a Maru slayer.
I'm not allowed to speak about ongoing investigations.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe we can talk about that later for a boss strategy or something like that.
I mean, with Wrath, no seal twisting. Can't do it, man. Can't do it.
I mean, on that note, I saw, and I'm gonna say this, guys. I played a little bit of the Wrath of the Lich King private server, and Ret in PvP looks really fun in Wrath, like really fun. I think I'm more looking forward to that in terms of Ret and Wrath than the PvE portion.
Can you play Wreck?
Are you still going Blood?
Well, I'm gonna be going DK DPS, Blood Tank, Ret Paladin,
or Bust.
Oh, Frost or Unholy, whichever one is better on that current tier, whichever one.
Can you play Wreck in PvP in Wrath? Wreck?
I don't know.
If not, I'm not
really
interested.
Not interested if there's no
You
Wreck.
really bought into Rec. Or
Yeah, you
I
kind of
didn't buy
dived
into
in
Rec.
after
Rec
that.
bought into me.
After that last
Oh, you
episode, man, you just dived head in, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Head
I've
in.
never broken 2K MMR, and I'm sitting 2150, so I'm pretty chill.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna zoom in on myself a little bit here. Just look a little bit. Yeah. I mean, so I don't know if reckoning is a thing in Wrath, but I guess we'll figure it out.
I assume
Speaking
not.
of that, you guys play, private servers? I mean, we're talking about the Wrath and stuff like that. Facemask, did you play private servers growing up and stuff like that?
Yes, I've played private servers since like 2013, I guess. Like I remember my first one was playing Phoenix. I don't know if you know that one.
Yes, that's the one I played too.
I
Yes.
was a GM on that server.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, GM
Wow.
Blitzer. GM Blitzer. Fleischer was my dad, and he took me in as a GM. I stayed up all night on Adderall and wrote a big Game Master application, and he was like, "Wow, this is the best application we've ever read." He basically made me a glorified chat bot because I'd ban all the gold spammers that whisper people. And I did it for a couple months, and then he was like, "Well, nobody really works here. Like, we kind of need more people. So if you could like take on some new powers and ban like fly hackers and stuff." And I was like, "All right, all right." And then like the server was kind of dying, and he was like, everyone was pretty much done, and the only way you could like get anything done was to like buy gold, because everything on the auction house was like so expensive. Nobody like farming anything, or you had to like farm everything by yourself. So I was like, all right, well, this server's pretty much had his day. And then Fleischer came to me and he said, "Hey, we got this list of gold buyers. Half of these people are from your guild, and if we ban them, like we're probably gonna ban them. So I'm just giving you a heads up." And I was like, "If you ban them, you're gonna like destroy the whole server." And he's like, "Well, we're probably gonna ban them this weekend." So I was like, "All right." The next day we like went into raid, and I just like came in on my GM character and like dot killed everything, and we just killed everything, and then server died like the next day. So
And then
So-
for me, prior to Classic, I did not touch any private servers. This is my first time playing TBC.
What?
I came in knowing of seal twisting and everything. I've never done a single one of these bosses outside of like transmog runs.
Huh.
The first private server I ever played is Synergy, and well, you know how that went. I played for a week and vanished.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Um, I mean, so then you guys just, how did you not play any private servers? I mean, Facemask, you played private server. I mean, how did MX not? I just don't, I don't know how, man. Not even a mop?
retail gamer.
Yeah,
Gamer.
retail gamer.
Um,
Okay.
No, because the mop servers are overran by Hungarians,
Mm.
and I don't have good ping.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm gonna shill a mop server coming out soon. If I can give you some tips after the show.
Some mops. Oh my gosh. So Facemask, who do you raid with? What server are you raiding on? You raid on the paladin main? You raid on your priest? You raid on, obviously not your DK, 'cause that's probably math. But what do you raid on?
I'm EU, so obviously I play on Firemaw,
Mhm.
like everybody else does their Alliance, and my guild is called Karma, and it's mainly speedrun guild. We're on 3 raid rosters,
Okay.
raid 1, raid 2, and 3, and I raid currently in raid 2 with my red pally.
Okay.
All 3 raids are kind of equal. The raid 1 is like the this top run with optimized everything, and they're doing pretty well. I think they did top 3 on Firemaw speed for SSC in phase 2.
Okay.
So there's that. And my priest, I have to do GDKB also on Firemaw. And I forgot to mention before that I actually play Shaman on NA on Benediction in a guild called Seath with AMP and a few other people.
Ooh.
Liz that's in the chat. So
you
yeah, it's a bit rough because it's nighttime for me. So
yeah, you play them both NA and EU.
yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I just like to raid in the game, you know. So the more I can raid, the better. It's the most I like to do in the game the most. So.
And MX, what about you?
So as of recently, right before the phase change shift to P2.5, I transferred over to Grobulus. I raid in the guild Mick Twist only, where we will give Rogue Glaive Prio and Simp for Grunag.
Okay. So then I gotta ask both of you. Well, we'll save that for a second. Actually, no, I'll ask you. How far did you both get? By chance, by today, in terms of tier 6.
I mean, I can start.
Yeah.
My shaman rated release night,
Mhm.
and we did 8 out of 14, I think, in a
Okay.
couple hours. It was pretty decent. No PTR or anything. And, kind of like an optimized raid. I had some post outs. And then yesterday I went into BT with my Shadow Priest and a GDKP and did 13 out of 14 in one night, which was pretty good for a GDKP, I suppose. Even though I'm pretty disappointed because the content was way easier than I thought it would be. Yeah. But we didn't do any PTR or anything. I haven't really went into T6. So, but yeah, I was surprised of how easy it was.
So, we raided on release night as well. We started about 30 minutes late, and we had one priest who fucked up their attunement. But we're 12 out of 14 currently, and it looks like we'll be going back in on Sunday, so tomorrow, and just finishing up those last 2 bosses.
Oh yeah, man. Well, I hope that both get Illidan down for sure. I see Serv asking why I was spamming escape. Did nobody saw it there, did they?
I saw it.
You saw my no salve?
Is that why?
Yeah,
Don't you have a stop attack bind?
He put sank on me, and instead
Oh
of salve,
no.
and I just couldn't attack at all. Not at all.
You don't have a stop attack bind?
Nah, it's escape.
Yeah, same. I just use escape too.
Yeah.
Too far away. I have small fingers.
My keyboard is like it's right next to F1.
Wow.
But yeah, no, I had we'll talk about that during Rage, but yeah, on that one I had no salve on, so it was pretty fucked up, honestly. So coming to tier 6, you guys almost clearing and stuff like that. What do you guys want out of tier 6? Like, what's the biggest piece of loot you want more than anything in tier 6? I'm gonna start with MX because I already know what he's gonna say.
Yeah, so I mean, assuming most people probably want Torch of the Damned, that's also what I wanted, and thankfully I got it week 1. So we're sort of chilling on that. CVOS will be cool eventually, but Grenade Prio.
And
Grenade Prio, huh?
That Torch is Torch week 1
he gets
is
less damage
so
than
big.
you do.
Who, Grunag?
Isn't he Fury?
Yeah.
You guys speedrun?
We do not, but
okay. All right.
Hold up. Let me put into perspective here. So we had a tank quit very early on before raid even started, right?
Okay.
And he switched over to Druid.
Okay.
To Phil, and he didn't get the switch back until Fury, or like to Fury until this tier. Okay. So anyone who tells me it's not his prio is fucking wrong. Like,
okay, that's fair. He did it for the team. That's true. Yeah, Grunag prio. Okay, I'll give him that. Facemask, what about you? What piece of loot do you want the most?
Of course it's the Torch, obviously, but if second is the coveted CVOS, obviously. But I'm quite sure I'm probably not gonna have as good luck as I have with the belt that I got second drop. So I'm probably gonna wait for it a long time because as we speedrun, so it's probably gonna be a bit different priorities than like MX, for example.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I would agree with the Torch thing personally. I did not get lucky with a week 1 Torch. Let's hope that Serv can pull one out for sure in his run, right, man?
I don't know. You guys talk about CVOS a lot, but you guys know that Paladins can already sense demons, right?
Yeah, dude.
That's true.
Chilling,
that's true.
Not RP friendly. I mean, personally, I'm most hyped for tier 6 shoulders, so because I don't have Stranger, so.
Oh my God. Well, that
it'll make me look better at Goldshire.
You still don't have Strangers.
Nope, only saw one Olive Face 2.
You get to go to GDKPs. You can probably get it at a minimum. Probably can.
Oh, we'll still keep killing Hydros. It just
okay.
It's just not gonna drop.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So I guess the last question here I got for you guys. You guys got any plans for Wrath of the Lich King? Facemask?
I'm gonna reroll DK, obviously. I mean, I hope I can stick with Karma because they're a good bunch of people that I've found now the guild for, and I mean, I kind of knew in the guild. I joined the start of the very start of phase 2 in TBC, but I feel like I found a pretty good home there, so I can stay with them, and hopefully I'll be able to get one of the DK spots. But we never know. Never know. Otherwise, I might stick on a Holy Paladin. Actually,
Ooh.
I'm not gonna play Wrath in TBC. In Wrath.
Holy's really good in Wrath for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you on that one. TBC is a little different. I would definitely flame you, but not here. MX, what about you, my man?
So I mean, I'd assume everyone doesn't want to entirely commit 2 years of their life, but I guaranteed will anyway. And I'll probably be playing Blood DK and either getting yelled at or yelling at my raid the whole time. And I don't know, maybe a little Unholy here and there, maybe Frost. I don't know. We'll see what's going on.
Sounds like a fantastic life. I'm gonna be doing the same thing for sure. Serve, what are you doing for Wrath?
I'm probably rerolling TBC Season of Mastery.
Ooh, really?
Ret Paladin.
Ret Paladin.
Yeah. Just gonna keep going until I get Gladiator.
Interesting.
That is insane commitment.
Yeah, that is
insane.
That's
I mean, I probably play Wrath with my guild just because they're gonna do it. So I probably play. I'm just not super into it.
Okay.
Maybe I will be when I start playing it. I don't know. I didn't play it much.
Gotcha. So I guess moving into the actual meaty section of this podcast. We're talking about phase 3. We're talking about tier 6. We're talking about how we can effectively, I guess, go through the instance and effectively kill the bosses and have a good parse as well. And as people have probably been watching, I've been using a spell power set here on Trash instead of Ravager, like me, Serve, and Starfirst were talking about in a couple podcasts ago. Did you do any of this, MX? Did you happen to do this in your run? Did you think it's worth it?
It was definitely worth it. I last minute in the last 2 weeks threw together like I don't know, I'd say around like 1,000 spell power. But I also used the Nightbane chest, and it definitely is worth. I think I sat probably like top damage at the lowest 5th the whole time on Trash. Never anything lower. And I shielded Ravager extremely fucking hard. So I mean, it was a little disappointing to see it go, but
yeah, I won't lie. I definitely was shilling Ravager a little bit, but honestly, seeing the damage, I mean, we can go back a little bit in this VOD. Just seeing the actual damage that goes out from Trash is just actually insane.
Ravager cannot keep up. It can hit like 4K peak, but it'll never keep up.
Yeah, I mean, I got to get Wrath of Cenarius next Saturday. If you guys are coming, I'm going to get Wrath of Cenarius next Saturday. That's what's happening. So that's what I'm doing next Saturday instead of the podcast. But yeah, dude, I think the spell power set is absolutely huge for Hyjal. I mean, it honestly takes us from being like barely worth a slot in the raid to actually being one of the top overall damage contenders in this whole raid.
Yeah, like it's not hard to get like a lot of spell power too. Like run like double spell strike if you don't have those. I mean, the tier 5 prot helm is good if you have that. Just throw a spell power gem in it. Tier 4 chest is decent. I got the chest from Hyjal Trash. It's like LE chest, 74 spell power. It's definitely a good one. You can use Illidari shoulder pads. Obviously, is one a lot of people have. Cal the Grand Engineer from Solarian or Void Reaver, I guess. Obviously double spell power trinkets or spell power trinket and tome. Best weapon you can get, Hammer of Judgment, Season 2 Gavel, whatever.
Yeah.
Like spell strike legs you can go for, but like you can actually get about the same amount of spell power if you're revered with the Mag Har. There's like a blue kilt you can get from those guys, and it's like 2 spell power less than the spell strike.
Why did you tell me this 2 weeks ago? What the hell?
Did you not get
I bought a spell strike for like 1.5k gold.
Oh my god. I balled out and bought a Belt of Blasting, honestly.
I got one made.
Blasting too, but you know what else is really sick is the PvP spell power neck and the regimen, and then the Lamellar Bracers.
Oh.
So if you get the Lamellar Bracers and you put a 9 spell power gem in, that's like 36 spell power, which is more than you can get from pretty much anything.
Is it more than
Well,
Havoc?
Bracers of Havoc is 39, isn't it?
Is it? Okay, so it's close
Yeah.
to that. It's close to
Yeah.
Havoc then. Where do you even
Okay,
get
yeah.
Havoc?
They're
It's a
crafted.
Tailor. It's craft.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like 100 gold. I bought them for 100
It's
gold.
like 30 spell power and a gem
That'll save
swap, I think,
me.
right?
Yeah,
that'll
they're
save me
really
some
good.
honor.
Yeah, no, honestly, I was so amazed at how good the spell power set actually was. I mean, it was really good, and I'm excited to get Wrath of Cenarius to see how
It's
much
nuts.
better it can be better. You know,
It's like half uptime, so it's like a 70 spell power ring.
God, man, I gotta get that.
I mean, more when you have enchanting, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have enchanting, you know, so
I was doing like 3K just in like my full prot set with Wrath of Cenarius. I was doing like 3K.
yeah.
And I only had like, without that ring proc, I only had like, totally unbuffed like 700 spell power.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still pulling like 3K.
So
But
is it? Go ahead.
I wanted to ask because like obviously spell power set's ideal, but like
Mm-hmm.
what about the obviously consecrate? But like what do you doing with like how are you stacking up vengeance? You popping wings and then dropping a fell iron bomb. You sapping.
Oh well,
Like
I
you dropping the holy
personally,
water.
yeah, I haven't obviously fully optimized it yet, and I don't think it's been fully optimized. Getting up the vengeance is probably the hardest part, I would say, and making sure that that's up. I honestly was just right at the beginning, just popping Destro, popping wings, because my first spell cast was most likely going to use my Alar Tome, so I wanted to make sure that it was just up, you know.
Yeah, I made the mistake a couple times of putting up Seal of Righteousness before the mobs got to me and proccing my tome early.
Yeah.
I think tome is the way to go though over like double trinket or like
yeah. See here,
you can use the healer trinket too and use it at the same time as you use
Mhm.
icon, but I think tome is the way to go.
Yeah. See there, I popped wings and trinket, and I had the tome up. I definitely got to make sure that you. The one thing if you're using tome is you definitely can't put your seal up when you're going into combat, because then you're gonna possibly proc it, you know, and then you're losing some uptime on it, you know. I don't know if you guys have tome, MX, Facemask. Do you guys?
I do not. I've seen so many get DE'd, and by the time I realized I wanted it, it was too late.
I actually picked it up like the last T5 raid, and haven't been using it. But I think I'm going to be assigned to arcane bombing some mobs in Hyjal, which is probably might be a good way to stack. I don't know if they can crit. I have no idea, but that might be a good way to stack the vengeance. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's probably just as you say, just pop Destro pop wings, and then consecrate before sealing. And
yeah. One thing I didn't really do on this beginning packs, I don't think you really need to do it, but I guess on, you know, the third set of waves and the fourth set of waves is, I guess Arcane Torrent and, you know, a lot more Hodges. Didn't really need to do it in the first set and the second set of waves, honestly. I don't know if you guys saw that or not.
Yeah, I just did it like at the end when there's like A-bombs and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I did it here and there when it was just a couple necros, but
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just like they're kind of so easy to deal with. As long as you don't get hit by them, like when they're all coming in, you're fine.
Yeah.
So I was expecting a little bit more from the A-bombs. I sort of like avoided pieces that didn't have stamina because I was expecting a little bit more damage going out.
You bought into the meme of the trash actually being dangerous. Like,
yeah.
That is not.
That's on you, dude. That's on you.
That is that is not the case at all. But going a step back, I definitely just wings and then fell iron bombed or sappered or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think you fell iron bomb first or sapper first, so you get the vengeance from that. I think it's kind of hard to expect that you'll have vengeance before you bomb.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to get really lucky if you're gonna do that, or you'd have to like drop a holy water, which is just wasting your cooldown. So
I didn't think holy water was very worth it for me. I didn't really make
it's
good
not.
use of them.
It's only for stacking vengeance. Like it's AoE capped at 5k. So
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I honestly think if bombs work, I think sappers, double sappers, and fell iron bombs are just way better than getting AoE capped on that.
yeah, so like holy wrath does more damage than unless you're sappering. So if you're gonna sapper, then what you would want to do is Holy Wrath first. It'll get you Vengeance and then sapper.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Vengeance. No, actually, no. Vengeance doesn't apply to explosives. So you'd always use your explosive first,
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
you Holy Wrath, big damn,
Yep.
drop the Consecrate.
For sure. Using the spell power set, you can see that I have spell power consumables. And I kind of went full elixirs in Hyjal. I'm wondering if you guys think that that was the way to go. Like, do you guys think that optimizing our consumables? Do you think that switching between elixirs like that is the most efficient way? I know it's not the best parsing wise for rage, but I believe it's the most efficient. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I agree with you. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you have unlimited gold, you can always like swap flasks like for every when it's boss time or whatever. But realistically, you aren't going to be doing that because I mean, gold is not a infinite resource, right? So I think what you've been doing is the way to go, probably.
So I could be using a blinding light, for instance, flask on this trash, and then be using, a relentless assault on rage, back to blinding light, demon slaying, blinding light. You could do that if you're trying to parse overall. I think that that's what you need to do, but I don't believe that's the most efficient thing to do.
When you have like a ton of marks of the Illidari extra, you could do that.
Yes, agreed. No,
Oh yeah, that's
that's
true.
the way.
Yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
about that.
Yeah.
that's a good call, but that's probably a couple weeks out, I would say.
Oh yeah,
But
probably months out.
yeah.
Flasks will drop in price a lot too. They'll
Yeah.
drop quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. No, for
But
sure.
let's see here. For me, I use pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Arcane Elixir, Mage Blood,
Yep.
Spell Power Food. I think the hardest part is actually getting to swap back to all your other consumes before the boss comes. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, here on Rage, you're going back to. I used Greater Agi for most things, and if it wasn't a demon, but it was just odd for me. And even then, I brought so much stuff that on Rage I had full bags and couldn't take off my main hand and offhand and sort of had it on half the fight. But yeah, pretty much same thing as you.
For rage, I did use agility, but for I just wanted to make sure that I was, I guess, optimizing the spell power portion. I know that that's weird to say, but I mean the oil, the food, the arcane elixir. I think it added a great amount of damage, honestly.
It's definitely the play. I mean, the flask would be ideal, but it's just unrealistic, and I mean, it's trash at the end of the day.
Yeah, like Serv said, I mean, those marks of Illidari really gonna help us out here coming into it.
Yeah, I mean, and then like for BT, you can do Agi for Naj'entus, Demon Slaying for Supremus, and then you can flask all the way to Mother.
Yeah,
and then
that's what I
did. That's what we did too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can also use those like little Scourgebane Droughts. You can use those in Hyjal. The spell power ones is another 15 spell power for half an hour.
Trying to get sweaty, yeah, for sure.
I mean, those are worth it. Take no time at all to farm at all. They're horde only, so.
Oof. Dang, Horde Supremacy. Got the Blood Elves too with the Arcane
we don't have
Torrent.
to do that, the Max. Nice.
Yeah.
And human male show helm only, always.
Human male show helm. Okay. All right. Interesting. So I mean, I guess we're moving into the boss portions of Hyjal. We're talking about that. We're gonna take a look here at Rage after this pull, just to preface it, preface, whatever. Serv was asking why I was escaping so much. I do not have salve on this fight. So keep that in mind, guys. Please don't. No bully. We do not have salve on for some reason. I will just say it. I messed up Pally Power. It was me. I fucked it up. What do you guys think about this fight? What do you guys think that the raids need to do, or you need to do in order to get like a good parse or a good raid kill time? Let's start with Facemask.
For starters, like, I mean, people use the PvP trinket on this boss, right? The first step is to not wear PvP trinket, not get ice bolted is like the first step. And I guess after that is just try to pump as much damage as possible. And if your healers can do it, you should probably sit in Death and Decay, right? Because you're not going to be able to parse if you can't do that. So
you can like move the boss a little bit, but yeah.
I mean, if you can sit and pump, Wars will get rage, and you will get free mana. So I mean, this is going to be a healer fight in addition to RNG. is what I think at least.
Yeah, I mean, look how fast it's just dropping. I mean, you can stand in it too. I mean, I'm standing in Death and Decay right now, and I mean, it's really barely any damage. I got some people who ran out, but they just didn't need to at all, you know?
Your Shaman is just gonna go to town with chain healing here, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gonna keep you all up, and it's gonna be fine.
MX, what you think?
So, first things first, I think on our run, we definitely dragged the boss maybe a little too far on most bosses. I think we can just sort of have them wherever. I don't think you even really need to get Thrall or Jaina too involved on most fights. Doesn't seem like they put out enough damage.
That's what I was going to ask in Wave 3, but I believe that I've been told that Thrall actually pumps and does a lot of damage.
Okay, yeah, because it didn't seem like too much, but I don't know if it's worth the time of dragging the boss over.
Yeah.
But, like, otherwise, the hardest part for us was getting chickens to proc. The A-bombs sort of have to be focused down, I feel like, because they're just deleting chickens immediately. And then Death and Decay, it's like, what, 15% of your health every second for 10 seconds?
Yeah, it's
so
like
a couple chain heals and some circle of healing will be good enough.
Yeah, and you want to mass dispelling as soon as Nova goes out too.
Yeah.
And the rest is just RNG, just mechanics, as Facemask was saying.
Just make sure that you have your...
Just need to dodge RNG, right? That's all. Dodge mechanics.
So you can actually, if you want to mega parse, you want to put freedom on yourself. And I'm not kidding about this because the boss has frost armor and it's like a thunderclap. It slows you. It's like a negative 30 haste.
Get frost armored at all, man.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's I'm pretty certain that's a private server thing. There's
really?
no.
I don't think we got it either.
Frost armor. No frost armor.
Okay, then never mind.
Yeah.
That's why
as you can see right now,
explains it.
Yeah, I mean, there's
the
legit. Yeah, see, no frost armor.
During the whole fight, that's weird.
Yeah. I just don't have it. So Grossilok is saying it's a very low chance, it seems. I mean,
oh yeah,
I didn't see it once.
He does do it, but if you get it, freedom yourself, it's going to be better than having kings or whatever buff you have on you. Obviously, like if you didn't have to replace kings, it would be ideal.
But you just dispel yourself.
You can do that too, but you're losing a GCD, and freedom's gonna stick, and it's gonna stay for
bribe or holy paladin.
I would probably trade one exorcism or filler for a cleanse over losing kings.
Yeah, I would immediately just dispel. That's just what I would.
You might not be in like that part of your rotation, right? Like you might be sacrificing a twist to get rid of it.
I would do it. I don't know. I just would see it now just immediately, but I didn't see. I guess I didn't see it on.
You could also bribe your priest to just spam mass dispel the whole fight, basically.
Yeah, true. That's probably a good solution.
I mean, or at least when he has frost armor up, you could bribe your priest to spam mass dispel.
Yeah, I think. Honestly, you got 2-3 resto shamans, just chain heal, and then the priest just mass dispels, and the boss just drops.
I guess the parse is just hope that you kill him fast, and he doesn't actually ever cast frost armor, right?
Yep. That's pretty much it, man. Yeah.
TLDR, send it.
Yeah. I mean, once you get like chickens sorted out, and everything, and you're like actually pumping all the bosses, not like these first few weeks where you're gonna be, taking your time, chilling, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I think these bosses will drop in like a minute and a half, maybe less.
So what do you think about chickens? Like, because you could take an AoE tick from the A-bombs and then go away from them and pop it. I think everyone can do that, right? That should work. Like you go inside of the A-bomb and take their aura and then move away, pop it.
So I think our issue is we pretty much popped them, and we had too many A-bombs up. Like it just took them out immediately. The chickens were just killed instantly. I think we maybe got like 1 or 2 chicken procs the whole raid, and there's like an ideal way to do it, but we need to find a way for the people who aren't AoEing just to focus down A-bombs, I think, so we have something else to proc on.
If you're in your spell power set, and like presumably the other melee are just in their regular sets, you throw your chicken on before the last wave, and then everything gets there. You drop a fat consecrate, you take a tick of the aura, all the melee take a tick of the aura, and then for good measure you throw a sack on a tank. You move away from them and you pop your chicken. I think that should work. You should be able to get 5 off of that, but you have to move away. So
I think it's a little risky with it's a little risky for sure. If you can maybe like legit, it's just so risky. Honestly, the chickens.
I mean, also if you ever get hit by a Necromancer Shadow Bolt or a net, a web.
Yeah. I guess
I mean, we can always proc it, right? We can sack to pallet tank and just pop it, but it's
Yeah.
about the other people in the raid, right?
What about the Necromancer mind control buff? Is that invalidated?
On bosses, yes. On trash, no. We were using it
Oh
on
wow,
trash.
that's nuts if it's not invalidated on trash.
That's for
Yeah,
Fury Warriors at least.
we were using
yeah.
it the whole time. We wanted to give it to a feral to see how hard they'd fucking pump.
What the? Yeah, no. I think it's okay on trash though. Yeah, it's not on bosses. Like you can't use it on
Yeah,
bosses.
no bosses.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of
That's
bosses,
a good thing. That's a good thing, honestly.
Yeah. Speaking of bosses, let's talk about Anetheron here for a second. I don't have any Sulfuron Slammers. I had no bag space, as you guys can probably see. What do you guys think is key here? Let's start with MX.
I was like on pole. I pretty much just dropped sacrifice. I just swapped buffs with our prop paladin, and had him, switch buffs with me so I could put up sacrifice and not remove kings from the feral.
Mm-hmm.
And I just rolled sacrifice, so the boss dropped pretty quick. I didn't really have to deal with too much. And then I have Sulfuron Slammers. I didn't bring them. Either way, the cleave, whatever the hell it's called, it doesn't really hurt at all. I sort of ate it the whole time. It's, I don't know, it's pretty simple, man.
Yeah,
It's just another pushover boss, right?
I think there's a little bit of RNG for sure. Not getting the sleep as well.
Not getting hit by Infernal. I mean,
Yeah.
you should be able to negate the sleep as a paladin, but if you get hit by an Infernal, you just have to move away and wait. So that's kind of a parse killer.
Mm-hmm. I actually, personally, I don't think I'm gonna sack a tank here. One, if I were to sack, my druid tank, they like I would get loot banned for a month. Like Dr. Kill would loot
what
ban
if you
me.
were the guy doing light on him for that fight?
Just too much. That's too much. That's too much to like change around. In my
I mean,
opinion.
yeah, I mean you could Sulfuron Slammer, but I think Sulfuron Slammer resets your swing timer, doesn't it? Or is it
Does
not?
it?
Oh,
Somebody was talking.
then it's a huge yikes.
Somebody was talking about that in the Pally Discord, and I was like, I don't know, I've never used it. I've always used
Oh,
Sack, but
then there's no point. I mean, just like I just on this kill right here, I didn't get slept at all. I mean, you could potentially just kill the boss. You know what I'm saying? Like that's possibly what we could be just completely overthinking the sack. We could be just thinking overthinking the silver. Just kill the boss.
I mean,
right?
you're looking at a bunch of Tidewalkers. Like, there's a chance you're gonna get it. There's a chance you're not gonna get it.
That's
you
true.
Well,
you could just stack the Infernals on the boss, and then it would wake up anybody in the sleep. But I watched Salad Bakers try to do that and wipe like 3 times during their world first race. So
yeah, honestly, I think honestly just send it and kill the boss and just pump as much damage into the thing as you can.
Yeah, probably.
That's the case. Make the boss hit 0 and call it a day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you could do the sack for sure if you wanted to swap, like the blessings for that fight. You could do that, but I don't know if I'm gonna end up doing that.
Just don't announce it to your raid that you're switching buffs and just make it happen.
Yeah,
put it on
That's
Pally
true.
Power.
I could probably get my Holy Paladin to switch with me. I could probably do that.
Just switch it on Pally Power, and then the Holy Pally is crippling OCD. He'll be like, "Oh, Pally Power's red. Better click."
Good call, board saying put it on the paladin tank doing infernals. You can see how far away right now. If you look over Archimonde's shoulder, you can see where we're tanking the infernal. Maybe we could tank him somewhere else so that we can be a little bit closer. But it's just not close enough for me to sack him. But I definitely don't think sacking the main guy is the way to go. Like the bear tank,
Yeah.
I just sort of picked someone and went with it. I think there's adjustments that can be made.
But also,
the Infernals were pretty irrelevant too. The whole fight, they didn't really affect much.
Honestly, for a Rep Paladin's perspective, I guess it doesn't really mess up anything. But I mean, there's really no reason to even DPS them at all. Like the boss just drops over, honestly. And this is a good demon slaying boss for sure, you know?
Oh, one other thing I wanted to say about spell power set is the waves are like perfect for trinket swapping. So if you have icon and tome, you like pop icon and go ham, and then the next wave like you use dark iron smoking pipe, and then you just switch back and forth, and you always have a trinket.
I don't have a smoking pipe.
Oh,
I mean,
don't
I
have an
do
icon,
on my
dude.
I do on my desk, but
God.
I don't have one in game. Yeah.
Dude, I don't
Yeah.
have a fucking icon yet. I
you
need
could
to
use
finish my
like
badges.
Essence of the Martyr instead.
Ooh. Ooh.
I mean that works. You can
Why
also
would-
use Essence of the Martyr with icon, but
Actually, I was just thinking about looting a Skull of Gul'dan. Um,
that
we're
would be
working
bad
on
though.
that. We're working on
That would
that.
be so bad though.
Nah, man. Semantics, dude. We got it, dude. Don't worry. We got it. I think we'll end up just looting it. But
Someone in the chat is talking about Magtheron's Eye.
Yeah, it's not
it's-
very good.
I don't
It's
think
not good to use it because like it doesn't. It's good when it procs, right?
Mhm.
And it procs and resists, and the trash is just level 70, 71, right? It's not gonna resist or
Well,
proc. So
I don't have like I have like barely any spell hit, so
I
Are you capped just by precision, or don't you? I thought you needed a little bit of spell hit to get cap.
have
not
like
on level 70 you're capped,
6.5.
right?
I got 6.5 in my gear plus the
You don't
3%
need
from
any?
precision. I mean, I do
Does
have a
anybody
decent
know?
amount of any for what?
Like, does anybody know how much spell hit you need to be capped on all the Hyjal trash?
Um, not sure. 5% on 72? Then yeah, I'm capped for sure.
So
I
you
think
need
most of us
2%.
will hit cap passively through our sets. Like,
So you
Yeah,
need
pretty much.
2%.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have that from Belt of Blasting, and yeah.
Yeah, no. We're good to go, honestly. I don't think Mags is not it's not the play for sure. There's not it's just it's not good in this situation for sure. Now, what you said about the dark smoking pipe, now that would be good swapping, but I don't have that. I do
Yeah,
not
you go
have that.
between Icon and like some other spell power trinket. You just go back and forth because you
Mhm.
can't use Icon twice in a row. It's like not if you go fast, it's not enough
Yep.
time. So
if you haven't done that quest in Zangarmarsh, there's like a green fucking spell power trinket that you could use the swap into. It's pretty fucking good still.
yeah.
It's not
Okay.
like icon level, but it's pretty close.
Any
Yuziri's
last
gift, that's Shatar
Yeah.
revered.
Oh,
That one's
It
yeah.
pretty
has
good.
spell crit though, right?
It's
So
only
it has a
1.5
spell
minute
crit.
trinket.
We got to stack
Yeah,
vengeance somehow, you know?
true.
Yeah.
True, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
With bombs.
Yeah, with bombs. Any last thoughts on Anetheron? I think it's the pretty straightforward boss, just like Rage and Anetheron are pretty much just a little bit of spray and pray, honestly.
Honestly, like the whole alliance camp is just send it. The trash
Yeah.
does nothing. The
Yeah.
bosses do nothing. It's just send it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah. So I guess moving on, we're gonna talk about a boss that a lot of people kind of hate as Ret. Serve. I know you've been talking a lot about it in the Discord and
Yeah.
also the other Paladin Discord. You want to enlighten us on Kazrogal here?
It's like all anybody's asking about these days is like, hey, how do I deal with Kaz? I go all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, just there's a lot of stuff you can do. Let me pull up my little post here because there's a lot of little things, little tricks, finer details. Okay, so mana pot works, but you don't want a mana pot. Honestly, it's like last resort scenario if you're trying to parse. Dark runes are must have. You can wings at the start with lust, and then you can bubble later on in the fight. And you can use a bubble to as soon as the mana burn goes on you just bubble, get it off. You can put sacrifice on somebody, max rank, take some extra damage, and like kind of just leech mana from the healers. If you're going to use a mana pot, you should use Fell Mana Potion, obviously, because it just gives you more mana. Although it does tick over time, so if the fight's about to end, it's not really gonna give you. You want to use a regular mana pot if the fight's about to end because it takes time to tick up the Fell Mana pot. And then if you're using Demon Slaying, so you need to have a Drainic Wisdom if your Rage DPS is high, or a Major Mage Blood if you're slower than like 2.5 minutes or 3 minutes. And then the real gamer play is snowballs. If you have snowballs, snowballs are so useful because they proc Judgment of Wisdom. So you tie them, you macro them into your like. I have an add-on that saves my action bar. And I have macros for command, blood, and CS that have snowball attached. If I get to a boss that I need like has mana issues like Mother or Kaz, I'll just swap my action bars to the snowball set, and every time I do command or blood or CS, it'll also throw a snowball and give me extra mana back from wisdom. And if you tie it to all three, you'll like never go. You'll be full mana the whole fight probably, and you really don't have to mana pot or anything like that. You could like haste pot or fab, but you know, I mean, that's kind of the play if you have them. If you don't have them, you can't really get them. You can only make one a day from the snowball machine, so you're kind of shit out of luck. But that's like the ultimate play. I feel like if you want to get the 100 in a couple of weeks, you're kind of gonna have to have snowballs. And you're gonna need a lot of them if you wanna. I mean, you can mitigate some of it if you just tie it to command or blood with a couple hundred spell balls or snowballs, but
Yeah.
Blaze,
I
did
don't
you
know.
use snowballs in this?
No, I did
this
not. I
clip?
did not. I have no bag space.
Your mana was like capped the whole time except for when you got the mark. So
I did not use a haste pot. This is a prog kill, so I did not send it. I completely saved it for just staying alive. Did not want to die at all. One thing I want to talk about is and I don't think I don't know if you talked about an ogre suit, bro.
I don't think it works. It's 12 yards, so
don't think it works.
It's 12 yards. Yeah, I mean, I don't think
I don't think it would work.
It's gonna work, but it would be cool if it did. Somebody should try it. But
yeah,
I think that the stun is what, 6 seconds? 4?
5, I think.
Okay, right there it was 2 or 4, I think.
Got a nice stun reduction.
I'll look it up.
DR? Stun DR?
Does it DR? No, it doesn't DR. It's
getting...
5 seconds. So he does it. Oh, it doesn't say how often he does it. But I guess we can look in the VOD and see how often he does it.
Yeah.
Is he thunderclapping you too there?
What?
Can't you just freedom the cripple, by the way, Blaze? I didn't see you do that.
Not sure if
it
you
should
can.
Be possible, right? Because he slows movement speed as well as attack speed, right? Like just like the frost armor thing.
Oh yeah, he cripples. That's what it is. He crippled you.
So you should probably be able to freedom it.
You can freedom it?
Yeah, you can freedom the cripple. It's a physical debuff, right?
Yeah, physical.
So yeah, you freedom it off.
Sure?
I mean, it slows movement speed and it works on the frost armor, right? Which is the exact same effect.
It should work.
This one is physical, so it should work, right?
I just watched him do it to you, so earlier in the fight.
What, freedom?
I don't know. I assume it's physical, yeah. So you just freedom it, and then I want to ask you guys about FAP versus haste pot. If you're trying to pomp here, if you don't need a mana pot, let's say you have like a bunch of snowballs in your bags, like a true gamer, and you want to parse. I mean, if a FAP on private server, a FAP would get you out of 2 stuns, maybe 3 if you did it at the right time. So I'm thinking FAP's better. I mean, 15 seconds of uptime, 10 to 15 seconds sounds better than a haste pot. A haste pot gives you like 1.5 attacks. I mean, I know you can stack it with your cooldowns, but like, I mean, let's be real. A haste pot versus 15 seconds of attacking. I mean, I don't think there's any question that FAP's going to be better, right?
Okay, so that one was 5 seconds there. When would you use the FAP? Right before
the stun goes out, yeah. But we had a timer on private servers for it. I don't see a timer here on yours.
Yeah, there's no timer. Yeah, on mine. I don't know if DBM is going to maybe update it or something like that.
Probably just wait 5 seconds and then pop it. Here he cripples you, and it's a physical debuff.
FAP should stop the cripple as well, right?
But the FAP is only 20 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, FAP will stop the cripple as well, and you won't have to freedom, and you'll get to keep your kings.
It's only 20 seconds,
yeah. Probably a play, right? It's 30 seconds FAP.
FAP is 30 seconds.
30 seconds? Okay.
So you probably get 2 stomps with it, if not 3. I mean, we used FAPs on private server because the stomp actually did crazy damage.
Yeah, FAP is probably the play. I think I haste potted. I didn't really do anything too crazy here. Like, it was an okay kill, I guess, but mana was pretty much fine without a mana potion. Dark Rune, I think I did sack on pull again. Because, well, who cares? Boss is easy.
FAP during Lust and CDs, I think, yeah, that's probably going to be the play, as someone said in the chat.
No mana. Yeah, I mean, as long as the boss dies, you're not going to need any form of mana pot, like, at all.
No, and
so you're
that
not gonna
bubble's
need to worry about
available
that.
pretty early.
You can
Yeah.
probably
So
just get by with like a dark rune, and then like if you have snowballs, just use like
hmm
tie it to one of your abilities, and you'll be fine, even if it's a little bit longer.
Tier 6 2 set might actually be really nice on this fight for sure as well.
Oh yeah, that is true. Actually, that's a good
Mhm.
point.
Could be better on this fight, you know? Just helps
Yeah,
out.
for
It
sure,
will
for
allow you
sure.
to hit spot or fap more like more safely, you know. So it's
I mean,
probably a good play as well.
I've done it on like a Lar and other fights too. Like even if I have to just to take a little bit of damage to get mana, I'll like sap around a boss that won't even take damage. So I mean, I'll do anything to fucking get it. I'd prefer not to use a mana pot though. Like that is not ideal in any scenario.
Okay, and this is where Graciak, you know, he's bringing up this, and this is exactly what I want to talk about here. I don't think dragging him to the middle is the way to go. Like we're getting Thrall involved. I mean, when I think the timer for Mark starts when he gets into combat, when Kazrogal gets into combat. So right when he gets attacked, the timer starts, you know, and it starts ticking down 5 seconds, you know, earlier on the next cast or whatever the fuck it is.
Can't you just everybody run over to Thrall, and he'll automatically come to Thrall,
Well,
and then he'll engage as soon as you're on it?
they have the guards like right there at the front where he's walking in, you know.
Oh, so he'll
So he
just sit
gets into
there and
combat. He gets into combat, and then I guess he's, you know, attacking the guards, right? Um,
yeah.
I honestly think getting them fighting him at the front guards is the better location for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of what I was saying earlier. It depends on the fight, I guess. Thrall does damage, but I don't know how much it would amount to a few extra seconds of running over.
Well,
Like say you're fully buffed up, you have your squawks, all that shit. Like how
Mm-hmm.
much is Thrall actually going to save you time if you run him over?
Yeah,
I don't know if it's worth.
the
I
bigger
would.
time saver is probably going to be that the guards are soaking cripple if you're on a melee heavy raid, right? So if the guards can soak some cripples and your melees can pump a bit more without the cripple, that's probably a bigger time saver than Thrall attacking.
They do a ton of damage, but the problem is, what I'm asking is, could you just kill it faster, right there at the front, right where it's at, right there, instead of dragging it to Thrall? Like if the whole raid was just stacked up right here, just ready to go, and then boom, you're just attacking them right there. Instead of this whole entire 10 seconds here, getting Thrall involved, then, you know, maybe getting the dudes involved. I don't even think Thrall's involved here.
And if you check TVM timer, the mark timer has already gone down like 15 seconds when you actually start attacking the boss. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like we're losing mark timer. So let's take a look here. We'll see up here. See, it starts immediately right there, 45 seconds. You know, so we're losing 10 seconds on this first mark, 15 seconds. Yeah, 15 seconds of DPS. I'm not sure if that's the play. I don't know. Yeah, no, I know that the hunter shut the boss ankle. I know that. I don't even, I just, yeah, Thrall isn't even aggro. I don't know if it's the play to do it here.
I mean, board says Thrall pumps damage, and if that's the case, this is probably worth it. But you should probably try to drag him there as you pump the boss, I guess, right?
Yes, absolutely. Like everybody needs to be damaging him.
I mean, if you're really good, that movement won't cost you any uptime if you're like really good at it. But
yeah, not starting that 15 seconds of not damaging there is like pretty cringe. Don't got any other
I'd
word
say
for it,
so.
to be honest.
I actually don't even see it on our logs. I don't even see that we even pulled it.
You can actually get lucky too and resist the mana burn, like the
Yeah.
initial spell. The initial spell's binary, so it's just like it goes on you or it doesn't, and then after that you can resist the ticks too.
Yep.
And when it comes to resisting binary spells, like a little bit of shadow resist goes a really long way for resisting a lot of binary spells. So just having like your shadow protection from your priest is gonna occasionally give you a resist on the mana burn.
I mean, that's just for prog, right? You're not gonna parse if you're in shadow resist, right? So
Yeah, you're not gonna use
try to
more
send
than
it.
you're not going to use more than the priest is going to give you, but occasionally it will give you a resist.
Graciak is asking, assuming freedom works, what are the best freedom targets for raid DPS? I'm going to say myself 100% because two-hand is terrible with that slow. And sorry, Fury, but you're not getting it from me.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there, at least. Actually,
Yeah.
We get hurt the most
Mhm.
from losing like haste,
Mhm.
so
I mean, we send it on single target, man. Like I'm not giving that to another no. Not giving it to somebody who gets flurry or slice and dice. It's not happening. You know?
I
well,
don't think either of us dragged it over to Thrall. I don't think we did either. But I was at the door, like ready to start with the tank as soon as he walked through.
Gotcha.
I think that's probably best case, but I don't think either of us dragged it back to Thrall. I think we just used the guards, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
When I did it with my GTKP, we dragged it all the way to Thrall, and Thor aggroed it, and I didn't check the logs, but I'm pretty sure he pumped. Like I can check the logs now, actually, if he pumps, but I'm pretty sure
I'd like to
pumped.
see what it.
Yeah.
No, we're not recruiting rogues.
So any last thoughts on this boss here, guys? I think Bubble is a good one on the second mark for sure. I just want to make sure that everybody knows about that.
Really, you know?
Yeah. The bubbling the second mark is huge.
Yeah, the bubble's definitely important. I'm looking at it right now. Like both of us are sitting around like 2-minute kills. It'll be dead in like a minute and a half in like 2 weeks.
Oh, a minute and a half.
Probably less than that.
I think a minute and a half has already happened for sure.
Oh yeah, like well, just for us, based off of what I'm looking at on our logs, I think
for the
like
first
we're at
mark,
2 minutes, pretty much flat.
You just ate the first mark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Yep.
And no snowballs, nothing, just a dark rune. Maybe a little sacrifice. I don't remember if I casted it. I can actually look.
Gotcha. Well, sadly, this is not the TBC Endless. I honestly, all right. I'm gonna pause this right here, and I just gotta say this. I don't even know if I want to show you guys how barely we killed Azgalor. I almost want to pull up just the Endless version, but I'm gonna play this just so you guys can see the absolute travesty that occurred, and we almost just completely botched it. And I want to show this because I want to talk about what not to do. Personally, with this boss, I find being at max range and the melee stacking in one area so that they can swap to another area when the rain of fire hits them is the way to go. But max range is a big thing for me on this. Facemask, what do you think?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. I was looking at the logs actually. So can you repeat that?
Standing. This is Kaz.
Standing max range with the boss to dodge the stun. You mean?
No, the actual
next boss, Astro.
Yes, the rain of fire and stuff like that. I think max range just so that the rain of fire doesn't hit the tanks is like kind of the move and stuff like that. But what do you guys think? What do you think, Facemask?
It does sound logical. I mean, of course, if you're gonna talk about parsing, you can, if your healers are up to it, you can probably have some melees sit in it for a little bit to get some rage and mana, before moving out. But that's just from a strictly parsing perspective, of course. But otherwise, you're probably right.
It does a lot of damage. Like the dot does a lot of damage, even in classic. Stamina shield, Graciak, yeah. MX, What do you think?
Well, I'm actually watching through ours right now. I'm trying to get a perspective because I mean the rain of fire wasn't too bad for us. I mean, we were able to sort of move around the boss left and right based off of where the rain of fire was. In the worst case, our tank just took like a step back. But like most of our rain of fires, we were able to just walk to the other side of the boss and keep pumping from there.
It's like Gruul, right? The first week we did Gruul, you actually dodged the cave-ins, right? So probably it's the same principle here.
Yeah, you can see how fucked up our attempt is right now, and how we're not doing the fires in a good location at all. I even had to lay on hands right there. All the melee pretty much die on this fight. All of them. Kind of ridiculous in my opinion.
It sounds like a healer issue, dude. Get some better healers.
It might be. I don't think the healers were in a good location to actually hit us when we ran to the other side of the boss, and so we kind of ran out of the They're ranged, and then that's it. They're dead. You know, we're dead and stuff like that. Getting Thrall in, probably a good idea on this boss, but I don't know. What do you think, Serv? Did you go to the bathroom?
It's one of the longer fights I think you should be in.
This is what I remember from private server. What we did was, like, those ads in the front, we would let the earlier trash packs just run straight into him and kill him, so that when the boss came in, he would go straight to Thrall. So there's nobody in his way on his way to Thrall, and we just let the boss come all the way in basically and pick up Thrall on his own.
Yeah.
And then that way combat doesn't really start until like Thrall's in it.
Okay.
I mean, I have my POV.
You just have to let the trash kill like the guardsmen, the footmen.
Yeah, they have to die. You're saying
they have to die, yeah, and it's hard to do that without just like leaving and letting it happen. Because if you go in at all, you're just gonna end up saving them basically.
Gotcha.
They don't take much damage. It takes a couple minutes for them to die.
I'm looking at this kill now here, and your healers are like clumped in one position. That's obviously why all your melee died.
Oh yeah.
And if they're spread out as well, it's less chance they get on the melee, right?
Yep.
We're gonna be there. So
that's
a healer grief as well. They're not spreading out correctly, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think the melee and the healers weren't on the same page for this one, for sure.
I watched Salad Bakers do this, and Laddie lost aggro on Doomguards to healer and almost wiped. So if you're doing better than that, if you if your prop paladin can hold the aggro on the Doomguards and you don't stand in rain of fire, I think you're already doing better than Salad Bakers, one of the top guilds in the world. So I gotta say that's pretty good.
Let's check out how Cuties Only and MX does this. How they dealt
with. I hope that's the right poll and not the first one we fucked up.
Well, let's see. We'll see. Man's a level 70 Twister. I tell you what, though.
I'm whiffing the rotation so hard.
Okay, so Rain of Fire. Yeah, see, I like how you're moving the boss like every single Rain of Fire. Like, it needs to move.
Well, you'll see later on, there's a few where like we didn't have to. It just placed itself so perfectly.
You guys run two roads?
Yes. Insane. We've been over this for a long time. Where's Board's response? But pretty much it's RNG again. Like every fight is gonna RNG you, and you're just gonna have to go with it. This somehow I think as of last night was still number 5 in the world for speed, and we had no fucking idea.
What?
We just sort of played the game.
I mean, you do exactly like I think Blaze said. You move it out every time, and then you best can send it. You're merely just sending it right here.
Yeah.
Just pumping.
Yeah, they're owning right now.
I think we had Thrall and all the guards pretty much involved too.
Yep. I mean, see, this is a way better attempt than what Get Carried did. Legit, straight up. I mean, you also didn't get a lot of fire into melee, dude.
No, we got a lot out on range, and our range were really spread out.
Yeah. See, they're spread out like a circle around them, right? So
yeah, that's that's a way better fire placement for sure. I mean, see, you have some range on the other side, and you have some range on the left side. See, that's way better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's just a spread game. I mean, the more you spread, the more RNG you have, and the more Rain of Fires will be just completely irrelevant. I think that's the key. Like, and the tank being able to move quickly and react is definitely good to have.
I feel like this is exactly like Vash. Like, if you spread out properly on Vash, the fight became much easier compared to if people range DPS just clump up, pop all their CDs, and just get the wipe around with the static charge thing and getting
what we did
cloud on them.
What we did on private server was we had the melee make 2 camps, so that if one camp got ran fire, just move to the other camp. You can spread, but if one lands in the middle, then you get kind of scuffed. Yeah, it's bad. So I think that's the play, is to just have the distinct camps like you do on Hydros.
One more thing I want to talk about before we move on to Archimonde. Silence reduction neck. What do you guys think? Go. Serve.
Why not? If you're a healer,
No,
Not for us.
For Rhett.
No way.
No
way.
shot.
Send it.
What about
no fucking shot, man.
Send it.
What about Holy Pally improved concentration aura?
Come on, dude.
I don't know about that, dude. I don't know.
Not for us, but for the healers. I mean.
Oh yeah.
For the healers, definitely, for sure, but not for us.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, ignore the fucking Doom Guards. They're stupid.
Yeah,
hey,
ignore
if you're
them
gonna
for
have
sure.
if you're gonna have 2 rogues in your group, why can't a Holy Pally be in there?
So I guess we're moving on to the final boss in Hyjal, Archimonde. This boss is a really fun boss to pump. Like I've personally done a lot of fucking damage. I didn't do a lot of damage on this one. I've done a lot of damage on this boss before as a Rhett. I think it's a really good pump boss for Rhett. Serve, what do you think?
Oh, no doubt. If you don't get like really bad RNG with fires and have to like run away, but yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think he's low armor, isn't he? Or is he high?
He's low armor. Everything
He's
in
low
Hyjal
armor.
is low.
So you just like shred him with your autos and CS and big demon slaying exorcisms and you know, all that kind of stuff that we shine on.
It's just like all of the other Hyjal bosses.
Oh, dude,
most bosses in this tier, like it's all RNG. Can you dodge the bad RNG? You're gonna be set. And if you get bad RNG, tough luck. See you next week, basically, for the Parse.
Dude, you got doomfired, bro.
I know. Right on top of me. It was so terrible.
Yeah, but are you gonna cleanse it all?
What?
Yeah,
you can cleanse that on classic.
You should be able to cleanse the fear.
No,
not the Doomfire, but the fear.
Yeah, not the Doomfire. No,
you can like
save.
You can like save other people from getting feared into the Doomfire.
Oh, there's a tremor down in all the groups.
Yeah, tremor should be fine for you, but like some other groups, like sometimes people get separated from their tremor and
stand next to your shaman for real.
Cleansing is a DPS
Doomfire.
loss.
Doomfire can chase you away from your shaman, so.
Yeah, so my input on my first pull ever here is a little limited. I must add that my enhance apologized, but he did not tremor, and I watched from the ground. So, yeah, it's rough.
On private server, having a lot of melee on this fight was so dangerous that people would just not bring any melee at all on this fight.
Because of the air burst.
Yeah.
I didn't even get air bursted in my
I didn't either when I was alive.
There seemed to be not a lot of air bursts. With this one, it seems like you stay kind of away from fire, stay near your tremor, send it with some DPS and hope you don't get air bursted. There's a little bit of RNG with every single boss in Hyjal, it seems.
If you get air bursted, pray that you don't have Grip of the Legion on you when you go up.
For sure. Also, definitely make sure that you run up as a group. For sure, because the combat, starts when you run up to it.
Yeah, and
I made that mistake.
You can like one-shot your tank by parry hasting this guy, so he hits really hard, so you never want to hit him from the front ever.
Oh yeah, I mean, you also just don't want to stack on the tank in case of air burst.
Yeah, that too.
Personally done that myself as well on private server. You don't want to do that for sure.
I think kind of generally want to try to be max range. I think all the melee generally want to try to be max range. Because airburst has a decent range,
Yeah.
It grabs everybody in like 12 yards, so.
Being a little bit spread out as the melee is also kind of nice. Like, see where I'm at right now and the other melee. In case an airburst does occur, you're not getting everybody getting bursted. I think like what you said with Azgalor with 2 camps, melee camps. I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I said to my, but he didn't see it that way, and I was like trying to convince him. So we'll see.
Yeah. Facemask, MX, any thoughts on last thoughts on Archimonde here?
I think you covered all the points. I mean,
there's not really much to it.
If you don't get airbursted and bind tier, don't get airburst in your first place, it's better. And then,
if you haven't used your tier, make sure you practice it jumping off the ledge or something, because our main tank, while practicing it, pressed it early and straight to the floor. So.
Yep, that's actually really good. You got to make sure that when you
that tells you when to click it. So
really interesting.
Just Thames weak aura pack probably does. I haven't seen it though.
Yeah, no, I mean you definitely click it when you're going back down for sure. You don't click it on the way up. You click it on the way up, you're done.
I got a question from Pride. He said, "Don't you get a bit of time before the airburst goes off after it like starts, like after you get the debuff or whatever?"
Yeah. Like it'll say like air burst on me, like if you have the DBM or anything like that, and you can run away. I have seen that occur for sure. But that was on a private server, you know.
Oh,
Honestly.
it's Suli's. Oh wait, sorry, it's Suli's. I always thought the Storm was Pride's GitHub name, but it's actually Suli's. So shout out to Suli's. Thanks for the sim updates, bro. Appreciate it. It's looking good.
Yes, much love. But yes, I think you can run out before the airburst occurs, you know, so you can try to get your melee friends to not go up with you, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Archimonde is a pretty straightforward fight, honestly. Kind of like this fight. This is kind of a pump fight as well. MX, what do you want to talk about this fight? What do you think about Naj'entus? What do you think in terms of holding your stuff after a bubble, or maybe actually getting hit with a spine?
So a lot of these fights for me were first time seeing them. We didn't PTR at all. Everything I sort of just pop cooldowns on pull. My main issue is, and I think most people will have it, in full BIS red gear, you're looking at like not even 10k HP buffed, right? It's a little sketchy. I think I contemplated putting Twin Blade on just to push that last little bit. But I mean, the only thing you really have to do is, I mean, have stamina and sit here and pump. It's a pretty easy fight. I didn't go and grab any spines or anything. Just sit there. Triangle, spread out.
Yeah, this is definitely a 2 melee camp group, as you can see. There's 2 melees, you know, 1 melee's on my side and there's another melee group on the other side. Facemask, what do you think about this fight?
Yeah, this is one of the fights where stamina has a value, right? You want to be above 9k HP, but other than that, split up so you don't. So the what do you call it, needle spine thing doesn't like kill all of you. So you can easily top off for the shield break. Other than that, pop cities, send it. I guess have 9k HP and send it.
Yep.
Stack 2 groups.
100%. Serve, what do you think about this boss?
It's pretty basic. I wanted to ask if the Naj'entus spine counts on logs. I forget how much damage it does. Oh, it's only 1,000? Oh, that's shitty.
You mean you're throwing the spine into Naj'entus occurs causes damage?
Yeah, it does.
You're saying
I thought
counting
it was
on
more.
Logs.
I thought it was more, but I guess it's only 1,000, so it doesn't really make a big deal.
I don't know if it would be, because as you can see, and we'll talk about this, and that's what I asked MX. So obviously I stop attack and put up Seal of Command and just go right into a twist after the bubble. I mean, you guys think that's the way to go? I mean, I think that's it's kind of like just starting an attack again, you know?
I mean, yeah, you're resetting your opener. I mean, every time.
I also think that you want to go 3 camps here with melee, because it's a lot of splash damage. I mean, I guess you can just brute force heal through it, but it is a lot of splash.
Depends on what you have, obviously, right? If you have run cash heavy, you can probably just do it 1. But if in normal balanced group comp, I think 2 should be fine, right?
You have 4 people, and well, I guess that's some pets in there, but they don't. I don't know if they splash or not, but
I think they do.
Usually on private server, we never had more than 2 people stacked together, like melee.
Yeah. I mean, that was a little bit different, you know, on the private servers, man. They
yeah, but I think on Warmain it was the same damage from the splash mechanic. Like most of the boss tuning was just like health and enrage timers.
I feel like I'm kind of barely taking splash damage, not gonna lie. Like, it seems very minimal. Like, rewatching this right now.
Yeah, it's easily healable for sure. If you run 6 healers, then it's easily healable.
It's 6, yeah. I think we ran 5 actually.
Even then,
but
like,
if you can do 3,
go to town.
if you can do 3 camps, like, you know, what's the hurt in doing it?
Yeah, I agree. You know, if you do 3 camps, then that's definitely the way. But I think just having them spread out and then just having the twist ready to go on the bubble for sure. I think that's just the way to go. Any last
There's
thoughts?
really not much to the fight. It's just like a tank and spank in the spine.
Pretty much.
Yep. Agreed.
I agree.
So moving on to this one. Okay, all right. Check out Dr. Kale immediately die. I had to stop my threat on this one. That's why I'm not pumping on this one. So obviously, we can talk about how to pump, but Juvie immediately dies. He just eats shit like right now. Just boom, dead right there. So I just didn't attack for a good like until he was up because I just didn't want to be number 3 on threat or anything like that. But all my other melee, they're just fucking pumping. I think with this fight, I think personally, if you're trying to parse this fight, you need to be greedy, and that necessarily is not always the best, right? So greedy in the kite phase, right? So you kind of go with the boss. So the boss is chasing someone and you're following the boss DPSing. It's about to go off. You break off. He gazes somebody and then you go back on. It's kind of like Thaladred. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? Let's start with Serve. Oh, sorry. Let's start with MX or Facemask. Go ahead.
I think like there's no reason to like not be greedy, right? Because the mechanic in phase 2 is he knocks you every time. And when he swaps, he's gonna knock you off, and then you can just kite if it's you. So and it's a threat reset, but it goes back to phase 1.
Yep.
So it's just you can just pump the whole time, and if you get knocked, tough luck. You didn't parse this boss. See you next week, basically. Just because of those two mechanics that he knocks you and the threat resets. Just send it, dude. Just send it.
I think something that a lot of like range people, especially like aren't going to be used to is the fact that the hitbox is so much different than everyone remembers. Where being like right next to that red circle is like actually like right in the range you want to be kiting him. And if you go just a little bit too if you go just a few steps beyond that red circle, you're too far away and he'll charge you and could kill you. So I think that was something that took me a bit of getting used to on the PTR, but I was playing really like conservative and dodge. I was trying to, I was just weaving in and out and just playing really conservative and in case he targeted me. But I think you can just go full ham.
Yeah, see, I went very conservative during the kite phase here because I did not want to die. I just kind of wanted to keep up. I'm going to say this on a hot mic. I wanted to keep up Crusader and Judgment of Wisdom, and just kind of make sure that I didn't die. I wasn't really caring about my damage here, but when it comes to next week, I'm sending it. I'm standing in the boss, and I'm going to rip threat or die. I mean, it's just, I think with this boss, you just got to send it.
But when we did it on the PTR, none of the melee ever got targeted by the gaze. Like nobody that was ever in his hitbox got targeted by the gaze. And I was wondering if that was just lucky or what.
I think that might be just lucky. Yeah, I think that's just lucky for sure.
I think this is just a very melee friendly boss. Due to the way that he knocks you away guaranteed every time, so you don't have to like break off. You can just pump the whole time.
Yeah. I think just sending it and just if you die, you die in kite phase. I think that's probably how you're gonna parse, because there's only gonna be one kite phase.
Yeah, for sure.
Just pumping the boss, just kill it. And this is the final boss in the, I guess, slew of bosses that we used elixirs on. So after this is when you can flask for the next 4 bosses. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I did for sure.
That's what we did as well.
Yep. It was this boss is actually pretty fun, man. It's just a good pump boss.
Well, it was about to be a fun boss.
Just watch out for
you have the clip of what happened to me. I went polar opposite. I was going all in, and we learned a hard lesson about the tanks trying to move while there's a hateful mechanic. And the tank moved a little too far, and the boss went
where's this
straight for
clip
me.
At? Let me take
it's
a look
in that
here.
sheet, in the sheet. I replied to your comment or whatever. Like, I can try to find the clip.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, we went all in. We did try to get chickens on the one trash mob before me and our arms warrior.
Bro.
Oh, did the clip? It might be copyrighted. Let me see if I can get the fucking. Give me a second.
It's copyrighted.
But we tried to squawk prior to the poll, and we both got breathed by the trash mob, but neither of our chickens went off. Like they did not proc.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, that doesn't really make any sense, to be honest.
Wait, on what ability was it?
Like the little breath that these fucking demons do. They
Oh.
breathe, and we both took it, and neither of our chickens went off.
Maybe because it's not like a direct ability. It's like an AoE. It's like I don't know.
But
Maybe
they do
because
like
it's
a
like a
Nova,
tonal
right?
breath.
These mobs as well that you could probably chicken off, I guess. Wish that the breath does the Nova. I just know there's a Nova that's.
Hold on, I'm trying to get you a timestamp here, boys. 1 second.
Yeah. So
Also, the hitbox. The
Yeah.
hitbox was surprising. I tried the Judge Crusader a little early, and it did not work for me. I had to go back to command. I went to command, and then had to go back to Crusader. Like,
yeah, his hitbox is a little wonky, honestly.
okay, so let me share this with you. Here you go.
Gotcha.
Look at Blaze doing the 2007 rotation right here. Full 2007 right here.
Oh, dude, yeah, I was completely just so afraid of I did not want to.
So tank positioning is definitely something to look out for. If your tanks are going to move, it's probably best just to step out for a second, because, I mean, our healers were a little zoned out and let us...
the hurtful will totally tank you, like.
Oh, I mean, you'll see what happened. Not even a good opener, by the way.
Dead.
Nope, it goes for a little while.
Okay.
Dude, I don't know how you do with the combat text in the middle. I can't do that. It's too many words.
Oh, that's so much. Yeah, I just noticed that actually.
And threat was a little bit of an issue, by the way. If you can,
can't even see your character, dude. It's just like, seal the command, seal the command, seal the martyr.
Justice. Life bloom fades.
And then tank, you'll see him run off right there. And...
Wait, did you get hit in the fire?
No, I died to melee.
Okay.
But yeah, if you go back a little bit, you can see the tanks start to move for whatever reason, and I just straight up fucking dropped. And so did Grunag, but he died to being topped, I think. So the tanks move like in a second.
I see.
Yeah, right there. Just move away.
You're saying the tanks need to stay still?
I mean, it's ideal. I don't know what their reasoning was for moving. I mean,
the fire.
Did they get fired here? Because it stopped the turn and then was away from the tanks.
Yeah, they got fired
and then it went straight to me on top of threat because the tanks moved.
So this is a definitely watch your threat fight for sure, because you can get owned. It's kind of like Bloodboil, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little different. I mean, the healing is a little bit of an issue. I think our healers fell asleep. Everyone was pretty much topped the whole time too.
Well, I mean, at least you guys killed it, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Grunag just got B-res in fire. If you missed that, that's a good little funny part to look at.
So, we move on to the loot pinata. That is Shade of Akama. Serve, thoughts on this fight?
Okay, so ultimate gamer strat is to take a Battle Lord from the last trash pack and set him right in the center of all the ads, and then your warlocks can seed off of it. And then you want to have 5-piece tier 2, which makes their Arcane Explosion way bigger. And if they spam jump while they press Arcane Explosion, they can hit all of the ads at the same time. You just AoE them down. And then the melee will spread out, and you'll have like all the melee on different ads. So they all die at the same time, and they're all AoE down, basically. That'll give you the fastest ad kill. Ads kill. And then once, then you just wait for Shade to come out, and you go full nuke on him. You can bring in like some stuff to cleave, but it doesn't count, so it doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter your parse.
I'm a little shocked that you took from that. I sent that to you a while ago. The 5-piece tier 2. It turned out to be a bigger thing than I thought.
It works. Yeah, it's pretty lit.
Our mages don't have it. They were both fresh from TBC, so unfortunately we didn't get to give it a go. But I was looking forward to it. I think they might do it in Raid 2 here on Monday.
Also, I'm pretty certain that, and I can be corrected if I'm wrong, I'm pretty certain that the damage only counts on Warcraft logs to Shade of Akama, the Channelers, and the Sorcerers. No other mobs count towards the damage. So if you're trying to
pull a
personally...
sorcerer in.
Yeah, if you're trying to personally parse and you're hitting like an elementalist or something like that, you're registering as 0 damage, right? It's not really that much. So you definitely want to make sure you're hitting the mobs that are, connected to the actual boss.
Another thing is that the boss fight is so short that on Bloodlust uptime, you need to pre-lust. You need to pre-lust as soon, like before the boss comes out, or you're going to be wasting uptime on lust.
So you're saying you think the boss you should be lusting here?
Yeah, I should be lusting here.
You
for
lust
sure.
before you can even. No. You lust to when Shade's about to come out, like when he's about to hit, whatever is. I mean, maybe it is better to do it here with the
It might
AoE
be better to
damage,
do it here.
Yeah, I think it's better to do it here for sure.
but you can instead, like if you're gonna lust on Akama himself, you need to do it before he becomes targetable.
I'm just gonna throw something out here.
Mm-hmm.
What about spell power gear on the channelers and just?
I don't
Consecration?
think Consecrate will reach from the middle. I don't think it will reach all the mobs.
It would be cool if it did, but it's.
I mean,
not
it's
going to.
similar to
Yeah.
Arcane It's similar to Arcane Explosion, and they can only hit with 5-piece tier 2. So I don't think we're gonna have the range for it.
We still do a decent amount of damage on the actual Shade, So I don't know if spell power would be, there is kind of, that's kind of like half the fight.
I mean, for us, we're gonna do way less damage if we don't lust on Shade himself, because it's gonna our uptime's gonna be wasted on these channelers that are not fully debuffed.
Let's take a look how much time is wasted on this lust.
No, I mean if your guild lusts to AoE these down. Sorry, my dog's barking in the background.
You're
I really
good.
apologize for that, but hope it's not too loud. But anyway, if you lust on these ads and you AoE them down, you might get more damage out of your locks and mages, but you're scuffing your own parse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was 20 seconds of lust wasted right there.
Yeah. So what I would do if you care about parsing as a ret, what you want to do is have your guild lust right before Shade of Akama becomes targetable, so that you have it for the entire duration that he's up. He's only up 25 seconds or something. So
I actually think
every second you don't have lust at the start of the fight is a second that you just lose.
I think lusting about here would probably be good. Once the defenders come out to be seated off of, I think that's when you definitely want to make sure that you have lust up right here.
What if you just lust casters here and then lust melee on Shade?
That's a possibility, actually, because I definitely think melee's damage is better on Shade.
Yeah, for sure. Especially because I think warriors probably pop wreck there.
Maybe.
It seems like go for a parse.
I mean, if they're trying to parse, but I don't know if warriors would really wreck. I would rather wreck on Teron, personally. That's just me.
It just depends on the week, but
yeah, it depends.
For sure. I feel like it doesn't need to be uniform, but I feel like just splitting the melee and having them, go around counterclockwise one group and clockwise the other. Probably your best bet. Saving lust for the end, probably pop it a little bit before this.
Yeah.
Probably your best idea, but I mean, let's be honest, all of us have at a bare minimum 5 shamans. So there's going to be a week where you're taking a healer's lust. What are the healers really doing here?
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get that second lust.
Wait, are
you lusting healers? Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Oh, I never get second lusts. Damn.
I'm not getting a second lust, but we definitely lusted towards the end. We didn't lust early.
Yeah. I think early lust is the way to go in this fight, and I think it's probably the most straightforward fight of them all. What do you guys think?
Early lust for us? On on the ads?
I'm with Serve here.
No. Just a strategy. Just in terms of the boss dying as quickly as possible.
I think everybody but melee should lust on the channelers, except for maybe hunters. Hunters might want to lust on Akama, because they don't really have cleave,
Yeah, they do kind of own. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It just the problem is you're wasting a good 20 seconds of that. There is value that is on the table that's just being wasted.
I mean, maybe even casters don't want to lust on. I mean, no matter what, you're wasting 15 seconds or 10, 15, 20 seconds, because Akama's going to die in 25 seconds.
Yeah.
So no matter what, some of it's going to get wasted, but
I mean, the mages probably want to last for their parse here, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's probably it.
That's if they have tier 2 5 set.
Oh yeah.
I guess you can just try both The casters can try both and see what's better for them. But I think melee and hunters are going to want to lust on Akama for sure.
So moving on to Teron. MX, what do you think about this boss? Do you think it's a pretty straightforward boss? I mean, I didn't need to dispel on this one. If I needed to dispel, I would have, but I felt like when my healers were perfectly fine and the incinerates weren't doing that much damage that I needed to be right up on the dispel. What do you think, MX?
I mean, I didn't have to do anything either. The dispel doesn't apply to me currently. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know how much I'm gonna have to worry about it in the future. But like, this fight is a fucking joke. Like you don't. It dies so fast, and at the same time, I also proc Seal of Command. I think once this whole fight, so I have a hard time looking at you twisting on this because it was the worst part of my night.
My question for both, I guess, Facemask and MX, since you guys are Alliance players, is this the Holy Mightstone boss?
Either this or Rage, honestly. But I was thinking if you can pump Rage, but I guess both of these are RNG. If you get the Shadow here or the Tomb on Rage, it's done, right? So, so I guess you can pick this one or Rage for the Mightstone.
What about you, MX? Do you have your Holy Mightstone still?
I do not have one.
I think the chance that you get screwed by RNG is high. So I think you just pop it on.
Yeah.
Teron.
I mean, it's like cool to have, but it's not something I'm really concerned with. I think I'll probably just get griefed anyway once I pop it, and I'll get like, I mean, you'll see the clips eventually.
If you really wanna go for it, you could use Light of Elune and the Mightstone at the same time to Light of Elune the Shadow to be sure to not get the Shadow.
If anyone has
I don't know if you can do that. Can you?
If anyone has Light of Elune and Mightstone,
you can pre-bubble it. Like if it casts on you, you bubble.
Yeah, you can pre-vanish, pre-feign, pre-bubble. That's for sure.
So if you can,
you won't have unless he does it before you lust. You'll be forbearance. So.
But this fight is honestly, I think, the Zerg fight of the tier. I mean, you're just gonna go in here and just absolutely monkeys drawn, just fucking slamming on the keyboard, just killing the boss. Honestly,
regarding the spells, I was here in my Shadow Priest, and we had one priest with the spell, and I didn't dispel. We didn't even dispel anything. Like we had 0 dispels in the fight. There was no problems whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, in comparison to a buffed private server, it's quite different. It's quite a different lifestyle, honestly.
You can just ignore this. Like the constructs don't even mean anything even if you have like a bunch in the raid.
Yeah,
it's like not an issue.
So nobody here got construct.
Nope, I went straight to twist.
I was wondering, because I heard like, back in the day, it would go to your pet bar, but it would have the binds from your main bar. So like 543 would work.
Yeah.
But they don't. It doesn't do that on PTR. It goes to your pet bar, and whatever your pet bar binds are is what it is. So 543 won't work.
I think mine is the default control, like 5, control 4, control 3.
Yeah. So like, if you aren't ready for that, you will have to click, which is no bueno when you're trying to move around and tab target and stuff.
I announced it. I will 100% be clicking those the whole time.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, I mean, there's a clip of me accidentally figuring out that it was on the pet bar, and also the pet bar was underneath my swing timer. So I mean, it was a terrible thing. But I think
there's a macro with like just one button for all. Like you just spam one button, it will do the thing in order.
A cast sequence, just
yeah,
basically you just do that and just spam that one button, and you're gonna do just fine. Allegedly, I didn't get the shadow yet, so I can't talk.
I will try to make a cast sequence, and if it wipes us, it wipes us. It's worth. I just want to see if it's possible to do it all in with one button, just like mash, like tilde or something.
Any last thoughts on this boss? Anybody got anything?
Send it.
I wanted the chicken so bad, dude. I wanted it.
Yeah, we got 3 chickens on this one, but kind of scuffed up my rotation a little bit a couple times, but
I didn't
okay.
have rotation.
I also felt like I didn't get a lot of command procs on this one, but I traded it for my Anetheron, which I got procs on almost every twist, so it's kind of just how it is.
You can what you can do is, like the guy said in the chat, you can macro it in. So my guild told everybody to do for the constructs is to macro into your 5, 4, and 3 buttons. Pet action button 5, pet action button 4, pet action button 3. I guess hunters will have to do something different because it'll screw up their pets, but
yeah. Huh. So you're saying it's
curious
just a
about
one
that.
button spam the whole time?
Yeah,
no,
pretty
you.
much.
Oh,
Yeah, it is.
sorry.
It is with the macro. It is a one
Yeah.
button spam.
What
So
was
one
it?
button
Cast
spam.
sequence?
No, it's just a priority cast. Like
Yeah.
if you put the number 5 ability at the top, you just try to cast that first, right?
Yeah.
So when the cooldown's up, it's cast that, and then cast the next one, which is the 4, and then it spams the 3 because they're on cooldown, right?
Yep. That's actually really good, Krim. You could put that in my Discord. That'd be fantastic. I'd love that. But I think that's probably the only thing that somewhat could mess up your parse on this fight for sure. I don't think it's really too hard of a fight, Teron. Moving on to Bloodboil here. I do think that this one is probably, if not the hardest fight in the tier, one of the hardest fights in the tier. Serve, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think so, but I think it's mostly on your tanks, and there is like the chance that anybody could wipe the raid if they don't turn the boss when they get raged. But I think for the most part, it's all on your tanks because it's just about being able to go between your top 3 tanks and them being able to overtake each other without having to taunt. So they have to be like in a tight window where they can overtake each other naturally. And if anybody's slacking on threat, then it can really suck and you can wipe. But I think it mostly comes down to tanks. Obviously Bloodboil is easy to deal with. Fel Rage, sometimes people can die, but if you have 3 paladins, that's enough bops to get you through the clothies. And obviously you can't block or bubble because you'll wipe the raid by doing that because he'll revert to threat. But you can use bop. So bopping them Fel Rage, and obviously if you want to parse this boss, you just have to get targeted for Fel Rage.
Yep.
So.
Yep. As you
I
can
thought
see,
I thought they would
is...
invalidate it because honestly, it would be better if they did invalidate it.
Look at Mentos right now. My man is legitimately popping off.
Yeah, because he can just evasion and
Yep.
go full ham with all his cooldowns.
Yep, that's exactly what he did. And I mean, I think that's what you need to parse on this boss. From a rep perspective and from any perspective, you need to get Fel Rage for sure.
Yeah, that's why I think it's dumb that they didn't invalidate it.
I was thinking that you would have to use the shield for this, but honestly, I got hit with it on PTR and I just kept twisting. And honestly, 1-1 twisting rotation, Chad. I mean, you just keep twisting. I mean, there's no reason not to.
I mean, I guess
it'll be a gamble. It'll be a gamble with the buff.
Oh yeah. I am obviously not attacking here as much because Dr. Kale died, and I was waiting for him to get higher up on the threat because I didn't want to, full threat like someone here did. Just had to make sure. Yeah, see, the threat is really big on this fight, and honestly, I think it's the biggest mechanic. And keeping your tanks alive. So keeping your tanks alive and then producing amount of threat while also staying under it is like the name of this fight for sure, 100%. Not getting hit by the Fel Breath. That's also huge. It's unnecessary damage.
I mean, that can just wipe you. Getting hit by one breath on a lot of people. Those people probably just die if you're like not really gaming.
Oh yeah. Oh no, you get, it's a lot of damage. 4, 5, 6 people get it. It's over. I honestly think this is probably the hardest fight in tier 6. What do you guys think about that?
I would agree. I mean, I guess Council might be up there. We've only given it a go with 5 healers, and most people I'm seeing are sitting at like 6 for at least guilds at my guild's level. It seems like we're gonna have to have like our Boomy go Dream State or something. We're just gonna do it anyway, so we can get through it on Sunday. But for a while, I think Council will be a lot more difficult for people that don't have maybe the healers that some other guilds may have. It looks like most people are sitting at like 5,500, 6,000 heals per second on that fight, and the 5 isn't going to cut it for a lot of people. So, I mean, Bloodboil's up there, but if your tanks know what they're doing, then it's definitely easier, in my opinion.
Council
But I
should
think
be
it will
harder.
remain more. I think it will remain more difficult longer than Council will.
Like Council should be harder than it is. They die way too fast. It's atrocious.
I actually think Council is way easier in this fight. Personally.
I mean
it
it's
just...
this is a tank fight, right? And Council is a healer fight mainly. So
Yeah.
if your tanks are good, this will be easy. If your healers are good, Council will be easy, pretty much. That's all it is.
If Dr. Kale is here, that just means that he needs to step it up, honestly, and I hope he hears that. But I mean, any last thoughts on this? What do you guys think? I mean, do you think they should get rid of Fel Rage on the logs on max DPS?
Probably they probably have to, right? Because the only class that can actually parse now is warriors, because they can't get it, right?
I mean,
probably have to get rid of it.
You have like a one in you know what is, if you get 2 Fel Rages, it's like a 1 in 12 chance that you'll ever get to parse on any given fight. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, getting a nice double would be insane.
Like, imagine never getting a 99 on that fight because you just never got Fel Raged.
Yep. I mean, it might happen, man. It could potentially happen.
I think they remove it. I think they'll remove it.
Well,
I really thought they would have by now.
Yeah, we'll figure. I mean, we'll see here soon. I mean, I would assume that if they're going to do it, they're going to do it soon. And you know,
they could just add a category for Fel Rage parses. That would be cool. I would like to see them, like how high people can go with them, but I think it's dumb that they count the same as everybody else's.
Okay, so Grostek's saying they could probably just remove it from All Stars.
I still don't know if I like that, but
I would be okay with that, honestly. I would be okay with that.
It's still gonna ruin your profile, though, right? When you see that like 92 because you never got the Fel Rage or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. No, I mean that's probably what it is. So yeah, I kind of agree with you guys. I hope they do invalidate it, but even if they do invalidate it, I still want to get Fel Rage. I still want to do a bunch of damage. I think it would be awesome. Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
So moving on to the boss that everybody here as a Ret Paladin wants to be doing and wants to be killing weekly. Let's give the honors of MX. MX, how did you feel about this fight, seeing as you were a lucky week 1 torch owner?
It's a pretty fun fight. It's pretty straightforward. I did ask Elvina before I pulled if I should try to axe myself in phase 2. And that is what I did. I died twice. But
no.
But pretty much it's a straightforward fight. Nothing too much to worry about. I don't even know what to really express. We had one wipe, I think, just due to people not being prepared for the fight. I'm trying to think like anything that really stood out that made the fight hard.
Yeah.
There's not really anything. I guess just like me, the first time I died, I didn't run out on melee, and I wasn't prepared for that, so it went straight to me.
You're like too far in.
I was too far in, yeah. Just spread out on phase 1, and that's about it. That's the only thing that's really hard for melee, right? If you're trying to actually pump.
Yep. And Gracia is posting about it, and that's what I wanted to talk about. Is the cooldown usage is I used wings here in phase 1. If you use wings in phase 1, it's gonna be up for phase 3 for when you do it.
Yeah, and he has no armor in phase 1 too.
From my kill time here, I could also have used Haste Pot and Trinket in phase 2, and it would have been up again. And I believe that it would have been it would have been way better.
You can do 2 minutes every phase.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely make sure that you're stacking here in the middle, because if you're not here and you're not getting this mana back, I mean, it's very, very detrimental, 100% for your parts.
And then phase 2, if you don't have a warrior tanking to reflect deaden.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because reflecting deaden gives you double damage, but you also deal it back to yourself, so you could just one-shot yourself.
Yep.
So I don't know if the play is going to be to have a warrior tank and reflect deaden, or if that's just so dangerous that you just can't do it, because I don't know. Like, you can only get shielded so much, right? Like, you could easily just one-shot yourself with a reflected deaden and a big twist.
Oh, definitely. I've done it before. I did it on Endless, but I haven't done it here yet, thank God.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe
Like
Sorry.
in phase 2, like even if you don't reflect that, and it's fine to twist, right? Because in my Shadow Priest, I was too scared to like Shadow Death in case I might have killed myself, right? But with the Rat Pal, it should be different because it's not that much. It's not like a Blue Beam Nether Spike kind of thing, right?
You won't one shot yourself without a dead and reflect.
Okay.
You can really get yourself low if the healers aren't really pumping, but you won't ever one shot yourself without a dead and reflect.
Yeah.
Just send it with wings then, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
most sense.
That's why it's also good to not have wings there, I think. But
I think this is a fight where regulating your cooldowns is going to be big. You know, the 3 minutes, the 2-minute usage. I think that's going to be big. Not reflecting and killing yourself, obviously, is going to be huge as well. Other than that, I think it's decent. You know, don't stand inside the boss in phase 1 and start tanking, because then you start getting owned.
And then phase 3 is like the single most even DPS race in the whole game, basically, because it's just like 30 seconds, everybody pumps, nobody gets double lust, right? Everybody's lusted and you're going full pump, and threat's really not an issue if you do the taunt swap at the beginning. So it's just kind of like the most even DPS race across all classes in the game. You just get to have fun and go nuts, and you also do like increased damage.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to have wings on phase 3 as well. So that's why it's good to do phase 1, phase 3, and
Greshak brought up a good point. Greshak, he stresses the importance of wings timing in phase 3, right? Because the damage increase, it ramps up over time, right?
Yep.
So you want to time the wings as good as possible so you have the highest amount of damage increase, right? So you want it just before it dies, you want wings to end, right? So that's important. You need to know your guild's kill timer, like kill speed, to know when you should pop wings optimally.
Yeah, I think for us it's just like 40%. He dies pretty fast. I mean, I think it's like 40 or 30% you would pop for like a pretty fast guild. Maybe even a little higher. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we had a little bit of a longer kill. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
5 minutes 30 seconds. I mean, you're getting second wings no matter what on this fight. But
I mean, I would say 60% is probably good, honestly. Because it's starting to just go down and down like quicker and quicker here.
And obviously you kind of want to delay lust a few seconds as well, probably 10-15 seconds to pop it to get the max out of your own like wings timer as well, to get the wings in the lust.
100%.
He goes down like 1% a second here at the end, so
I
don't know did we know how long the phase lasts? Anybody have like a log or something? They know exactly how long the phase lasts on a good fast kill? I mean, I don't think you can delay your lust too long if your guild's good.
It's like 45 seconds here on this phase 3.
Yeah, I don't think you can delay it too long if your guild's good. I think you still generally like do it right after the taunt swap and you start like busting them up basically. But maybe you could delay it a little bit. It depends on your kill time, obviously. But I think from like most of the big parse guilds, they're just gonna like lust right away, probably.
For sure, man.
That's probably fine. Yeah, if the 45, you can just send it, and then you can wings as there's 20 seconds left of lust, right?
Halfway,
yeah.
Yep.
Last 20 seconds of lust, yeah.
Any last thoughts on this boss, guys? Other than wanting to get a torch?
No, but best of luck to Serve and Facemask on their torches. I demand that Facemask gets a birthday torch.
Can only hope.
Thank you.
Man.
Well, you already killed it this week. You're sort of fucked for the week, buddy.
Yeah, that's kind of true, man. That's kind of true. Moving on to a boss that I'm sure Facemask and MX have very, very, very. They have good opinions. What do you guys think about Shadow Resistance set on Mother? Go.
Stupid.
Wearing 0?
I put on the neck and I had a Shadow Prop potion. The neck was worthless. I shouldn't have done it. I did not get ported though, but I mean, we had one person I think die to getting ported, and then maybe a tank died towards the end.
Interesting.
But majority of our raid wore like none, little to none. I don't think most people were over like 110, 150 if they did wear it. The rocket boots, we had quite a few of them. Just normal stuff. The boss was pretty tank and spank. Our positioning was a little different though.
Yeah, I used rocket boots. I honestly don't know if this positioning is the best for sure.
We brought it back a good way. I don't think we would if we're trying to parse. There's like so on the right side, there's the little indent in the wall. There's like a little rounded indent. We brought it down the hallway into that indent, and then had the healers just down the hallway a little bit more, and everyone else.
Yeah. The door. You're talking about the door strat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, I did that on Phoenix. That's been a long time since I've used that strategy, honestly. But we in this kill, we're all using shadow resistance. We all have 174 shadow resist. And even I got rocket boots, but not many people died. A couple people died. I know Yak died just now because he didn't have any. His shadow resistance gear was all shadow resistance gear and no stamina, and he immediately got flamed after the fight. But the silence is deadly on this fight.
Yes.
Yes.
I think a little bit of shadow resist really helps. I mean, it's a binary spell. Like when I wore 100 unbuffed on the PTR, it felt massively better for my damage than like because of the silence than wearing 0 on the PTR.
So like wearing the neck, and what else piece would you suggest to dodge the silences? I mean, we've heard reports in Light Club of people wearing like 150 whatever and not resisting a single silence. So
yeah.
I mean, it does come down to luck, but if you have like 100 unbuffed SR, that's like gonna resist a large, like that does a lot for binary spells. It's gonna get like I think half of them at least. So I think it's definitely the play. I don't know though. I mean, maybe if you just get lucky on 0 SR, you
Huge
just
boots.
pump. You know, also like with the Fatal Attraction, like you can survive on 0 SR, but what can also happen is she can just beam you at the same time that you're rocket booting away, and you can just die. That happened to me on the PTR, and I was wearing Shadow Resist too, and I still died. Like the JC neck and the Shadow Pot is pretty much the only way to counter that. Presumably, you like Health Stone after the first tick, and then also pop your JC neck and Shadow Pot, and that might save you. But if you get beamed at the same time, you can just die. So
yeah, that looks like it happened to one of our rogues. He got sinful beamed while he was running out. 2 fatal attractions and sinful beam, and he was
that's
done.
why you like when you boot away, you want to make sure you know where you're going before you press the boot. Like you need to know where you're going.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to just go into the raid or the tanks or something, and you don't want to go near the boss because she'll just beam you.
I had it planned out in my head just to curve around the healers and go the opposite way of where I assumed everyone else would go, the big open side.
I definitely want to try.
I want a macro like Shadow Prop Potion or something in my rocket boots though, just so I have it ready to go and don't have to worry about like wasting even like a single second on potion.
I definitely want to try 0 shadow resist next time, but I guess it's something that you have to decide as a guild if you're gonna do that.
I think for me, I think it's always going to be worth it for Rets to wear like the cape and maybe the bracers. I think it's just always going to be worth it to do that for the silence. I mean, I could be wrong, and it could be better to just go 0 and just do more damage when you are silenced. But I think that's going to be, obviously like that's some deep math to confirm it one way or the other. So I guess we'll see.
I mean, it's the theme of this tier, right? It's just RNG mechanics that will fuck you over, right?
Yeah, but you're not really gonna resist it if you have no SR. So.
But if you wear 150 SR and then never get the failure traction, like then you don't resist a single silence, like then you waste the 150 SR you didn't need basically.
It's true, but if you have if you go 0 SR and you only have the 70 from Priest, you're pretty much never going to resist it. So you're kind of like, I mean, it's more consistent, yeah, but it's also like you could just get screwed by the silence. I don't know. I don't know one way or
If
the
we're
other. I haven't
going,
done
if
any
we're
like
going,
deep math into it, but
if we're going for strictly parses, I guess you take the gamble, right? Casino class, so we all know how that goes. But like, yeah, I mean, resisting the silence for like just your average like 99, like trying to do well. I mean, it would probably be ideal to have at least a little bit to try and resist silences.
the cloak is really not a big sacrifice to just put the cloak on.
No,
And
it's not at all.
that'll do a lot for you too.
Yeah. So moving on, I see that Facemask is being called the raid, so I guess we'll just try and get through the last two bosses here. So moving on to Council. Serve, what do you think about this fight? I mean, I didn't have to dispel at all. I wasn't really worried about that at all. I think I'm gonna obviously put down more consecrates on this one. I didn't this time because I didn't want it to get mixed up. But that big ass consecration right across the screen. I mean, if my tank doesn't have that, then that's his fault, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, obviously you want to cleave the priest. I've seen a lot of guilds play it the safe way and not cleave the priest, and I think that's just a mistake.
Yeah,
it's just free damage.
Yeah, it's a huge mistake. Cleaving here is absolutely big. It's something that I think everybody needs to be doing. Facemask, MX, what do you guys think?
You're right.
Let Facemask go first.
For parsings, definitely cleaving is way because you want to shorter kill them, right? You're not gonna be able to parse if you do like boomer strats, but that goes for any given boss, right? So I think you're onto it with just cleave, send it, let your healers do work, and I hope you don't get too fucked by the resists.
They die so fast, it's crazy. Like on private
die.
server, this was like a 7 to 10 minute fight.
Yep.
With a good guild, and like this is so bonkers. It's only like 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, this will be a quick fight, especially when they get the cleaving down for sure. And there's a bunch
I see you're tanking it with a druid. Did you ever have your druid get one shot by the judgment of command or whatever?
No.
The commands?
We one shot this boss.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Because I did see a lot of like super geared druid tanks just get wrecked by not being able to reflect the judgment of blood or whatever.
No, we just killed the boss, honestly. Just stacked him up and killed the boss. And we had a rogue with gloves just sitting on.
Yeah, I don't think that's good for the parse. To be honest.
I don't know if that's good for the parse.
Because you want them exposing armor, and they do no damage when they do that shit. I mean, it's handy.
You were thinking putting the rogue in there? I was thinking of not.
I mean, the rogues do a lot of damage on this fight because they get to blade flurry everything. I'm serious. Like they do a lot of damage on this fight.
I'm actually with Serve here. They can blade flurry and pump.
So
I'm a rogue denier. I'm a rogue denier. I'm a rogue hater.
I have two of them, so I want them to pump.
I mean,
you
can just put like a prot warrior on the priest and do all the melee interrupts. But if you're cleaving the priest anyway, like, do you really need a rogue? Like, just have your melee are already cleaving, so you can just swap and kick whenever you need to, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
we even got a madness on this pull. I think it was really good.
Nice.
So, I mean, does anyone ever need a rogue? It's just sometimes it's good to have one, but you can do without one 100% of the time.
You don't. Pro tip, you don't.
Oh my god, Kitty Exorcism with the 5 tier 1 subs, bro. This guy's
damn, hell yeah.
This guy's a legend.
Absolute legend. So moving on to the final boss in the tier. I have to say that this is a very fun fight, but I gotta say, not having any demon phase is kind of like no lock tanking phase. Every single time I've done this fight, there's been a lock tanking phase. It's not a thing in Classic.
It's not existent.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
It's sad that it's not a thing. Like, that's one of the cooler parts of the fight, and it's actually like at least a little bit difficult for a shitty guild. But
having said that, it actually is really good for us then, because if we have that lock tank fight, our melee uptime just gets completely slaughtered. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Like we are we're definitely in a better location for melee DPS and rets in general, completely skipping that, you know? But I think you can, if we're doing that burst phase, you pop your cooldowns here in this phase, you get through the second phase, and then you pop them again on the Bloodlust in the third phase in order to push them down.
I think it's sad. I think it's so sad you don't get to see a demon phase. I mean, obviously you parse higher, but it's disappointing, man.
Yeah.
I
Like,
mean, it's more fun as a melee, right? Because you can actually hit the boss more, right?
Yes.
Like more bigger percentage of the time. So I mean, from that perspective, like skipping it is a good thing. But I mean, if you obviously want to see the whole their whole fight for real, like it was designed, then yeah, I guess it's not ideal to have one phase being skipped.
Yeah, I think for us it's actually best case scenario, straight up. I think it's how we're just gonna do the most damage, straight up.
I mean, early on parsing, like I don't know how early I'll try to push anything, but like this phase, it will 100% be the most important for parsing. And
100%.
I think your decision making and how your tank, deals with this phase is gonna
Yeah.
fully affect everyone else and how they can, manage to get through it.
Big example
like,
right now is if the tank could bring it over to the other side of the blue so that the melee could get on, and except for that eye beam just came down. But right now we can't attack him, so we're losing not only our damage, but the raid is losing raid damage. So it is you are raising a very good point, MX. This phase is very key.
Yes.
Like pushing, last phase and first phase is cool, but
you
this is going to be very important.
when
Yes.
this happens, you can actually, if you don't have forbearance, you can actually bubble and go through all the fire and go melee the fire. I used to do that on my rogue when the flames would be stuck on the other side of the I beam or the fire. I would cloak and sprint through and had no issue hitting the flames. So you can actually do that if you're a gamer, but you need to be very, very careful because you can get stuck out there and it can get dangerous. So you need to make sure that the flames are going to die within a relatively short amount of time.
Yep, for sure. Absolutely, man. I mean, this fight is a good. Is it low armor? I can't remember if he's low armor. No, he's 7,700.
Yeah, he's high.
It's a good demon slaying fight. I mean, it's just a good pump fight, especially if you're skipping out of the demon phase. And I think maximizing your damage in phase 2 is what's gonna actually be the most bang for your buck. I mean, phase 1, phase 3, bursting. I mean, that's easy. Maximizing your damage there, not getting hit by the flames, not dying. That's gonna be the hard part for sure.
When do we wings? Phase 1, phase 3.
Phase 1 and 3, yeah.
Phase 1 and 3 for sure.
I mean, this is what, like, I mean, I don't know how low it'll get, but it's probably around like what, like a 6.5. Some guilds probably upwards of 7-something minute fight.
Yeah.
This used to take people 15 to 25 minutes in 2007, and on private server.
Yeah, that's insane. Just saying real quick, guys. After this, we're gonna be doing questions and answers. So get your questions ready. But yeah, this fight I think is gonna go down to probably about like 4 minutes, man. I would not be surprised.
Oh yeah. I mean,
like, it's gonna be fast.
If you get a chicken somehow, if you do whatever you have to do to get chickens, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna get through that second phase fast. Like it's gonna go quick. It'll last to that point. And
yeah.
I mean, people will start getting the whole fight with chickens.
If you do that,
it's just infernal for the chickens, right? I mean,
just equip chicken for Illidan. Yeah. Just wear chicken, bro.
I mean, I'm sure people will do it. I've done it a few times on like KT and stuff. I mean, it feels like it has value if other people are doing it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
it's the best trinket slot. If if you have to wear it to get it, it's the best trinket slot in the game. Like best trinket in the game. But you obviously don't want to if you don't have to. So you can just infernal. But
this is definitely a little spicy. This phase with a paladin tank. I mean, he died just instantly a couple times. Definitely bumped our wipe counter up to 5
from the enrage.
Yeah, he died twice. To enrage, I think it was.
I mean, I think having a paladin tank is ideal, but I think you don't really want to do that if you have a geared warrior until the paladin has like tier 6.
Yeah, agreed.
They gain so much mitigation with their tier 6.
I think it's more of like a speedrunning thing because you're not gonna bring the prot warrior. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, probably
getting your prot paladin accustomed to tanking Illidan is generally probably the way to go, and that's what we did here. That's what we were trying to just get ready for. That's why we have Dr. Kale tanking here. Go ahead.
Up until council, I think we almost saw like every mitigation piece that our prot wanted for his sheer set. So I'll
Ooh.
be interested to see how it how it goes.
Yeah, that is
Obviously, he's
good.
going to be lacking spell power, but exorcism is huge. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't think threat will be an issue.
Got the KT gauntlets.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I got to get them all set up, but
I mean, I think it's like almost a 19,000 HP set or something like that. It's disgusting.
oof, goddamn. But yeah, I mean, I think
Wow, that's huge.
yeah, that's huge. I think the biggest thing was what MX said is the phase 2, getting being able to still do damage. Like here, this first flame dies, and I'm still pretty high up on the overall damage. But once this flame dies, and I can't connect anymore, I just drop. I just absolutely drop. And I think that we need to work on our phase 2, fellas. That's what we need.
That's the important part. If people want
Yep.
to pump this early, they're like, especially towards the end, once we start getting used to it and it starts dying faster, this will decide your
Yep.
your results.
It'll absolutely decide your parse, honestly. So moving from the fights, anything like that. If anybody's got any questions for us about any of the fights or anything us personally, hit us now. I mean, do you guys have any thoughts on anything that we've talked about? Anything on any other bosses that we talked about that you might have something that popped up in your head or anything like that? Any last minute remarks on any bosses? Facemask.
I think there's been some really good points like from the chat during all this. I think we missed some stuff, but the chat covered it up very good. Some of them had some good points there, but
pro chat.
other than that, I think we've been covering it pretty well. Yes,
Gotcha.
of course. I'm always pro chat when it comes to Twitch.
Yes.
I think the Teron macro.
We've been covering pretty well.
Teron macro will be huge.
Teron macro, yeah.
Yes, Teron macro.
That's a huge
big.
one.
Yeah.
We should see that. No Ravager. That will not happen.
No.
Unless you're just really
no
lazy.
tank set either.
No tank set.
No
it's
tank
spell
set.
power set. Spell power. We talked about it for sure. Definitely spell power.
Yeah, that's
make sure you have bag space to switch your weapons.
Yeah, dude. I was very just. I had no room. I had no room. I had to delete stuff in my. You can check my VOD. I deleted stuff. Make sure you have Wrath of Cenarius. Yes, that is a big thing. I will be streaming that next Saturday and getting that. So.
Oh, that'll be the most boring stream ever. I can't wait to watch.
Yeah. People fucking they want it, man. They really want it. They really want it. And
it's such a good ring.
No, they want the stream. They want the farm stream.
Oh,
they want to see it.
It's soul crushing. It's like it's like 12 hours at least, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna start it. Probably about 10 a.m. on Saturday. Honestly, it's gonna be
massively easier than classic. It's still like a 12-hour farm.
Yeah,
I think,
and that was with help from another guy, so it's probably longer.
So
I think a huge thing this week. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, go ahead. No, you go.
I was very misled by your PTR stream on Bloodboil. That fight was sort of a joke after a couple of times.
Yes.
I came in here thinking like it was going to be the end of the world. Like I was going to be sitting there all night after 14 fucking wipes watching you sit there or whatever the fuck it was.
So honestly, the worst part about that in the PTR was just like people would wipe 2 times and then be okay, I gotta go. I'm sorry. I'll see you guys later. And then you had to get 3 new people, learn it all again, and then the 3 people would leave after a couple more wipes, all that type of shit. But yeah, so we've been asked, is it okay to forego shadow resistance on Mother and just shadow pot? Depends on your guild, honestly.
Yeah,
I think
it's
really
going
depends
to
on
be
your guild.
guild based.
Yeah. If you are, I guess, a very slow killing guild, I think shadow resistance is a non-negotiable thing for sure.
Pretty much,
you
yes.
might lose a few people if your whole raid is doing it, but it is like you as a standalone raider. I mean, it's fine. Just have your rocket boots. Maybe JC neck. I didn't even have mine on. I just had the 40 shadow resist neck on.
I think. Go ahead.
Reaction time too.
Yeah. I think it depended on your guild, depending on your kill times, depending on your overall DPS, and it also depends on if you have rocket boots. Honestly, I think rocket boots are so key for that fight. Like if you're gonna cheese 0 SR, I think you need rocket boots 100%.
Oh yeah, you have to have them.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
For parsing, I think it comes down to what Serve said, right? I guess we have to see if wearing SR to dodge silence is better than not wearing SR and simming through the silence to get more
Yeah.
pieces of damage. I mean, I
Maybe
guess
we
we just
can
have to
get
check log.
Sully's, you still there in the chat? Can you add Silence SR sim to the sim?
Ooh, that would be so nice. Yes, we need that. Absolutely. Absolutely need
Maybe
that.
just a chart, more shatter resist, how much damage you do,
Yeah,
depending on how much that's for
can
you.
you tell Pride to add that instead of Ravager to the sim for the $25 I sent him?
We already have a Ravager sim. It's pinned in the ret channel.
Yeah,
No,
if you
that
just
was way before. It was way before the Ravager sim. I sent him $25 to add it to the sim.
Any Ravager shields out there? Go check pins in Red Channel Nightclub to see how much damage you do with the Ravager, and then you can come back and see how much you do with SP, and you'll switch.
One thing I wanted
Yep.
to ask you guys about SP set is so this is a Q&A coming from me, but there's a Libram of racking, and its Holy Wrath increased by 120 for
Yeah.
each hit. So do you think it's worth it to swap off the Consecrate just for that cast, and then swap back on the Consecrate Libram, or do you think you lose too much damage?
Nah, I think it's worth actually.
I think it's worth it. It's just it would be a lot of sweat to try and put that into the rotation. You know what I'm saying? Because like you're trying to consecrate, you're trying to have vengeance up, you're trying to have your explosives, you're trying to have your wings, you're trying to have destruction pot, trying to have exorcism and judgment on cooldown. You know, that type of stuff. So you're not gonna have. It's gonna be like a really quick swap in exorcism and then swap back to consecrate. I mean, it's gonna be really dicey, for sure.
If you can incorporate it in the whole like gear swapping rotation shenanigans, then by all means do it. But in reality, I think it's going to be hard to pull off, as you said, Blaze.
I think it would just be very hard because you know you're consecrating and then you're obviously casting a holy wrath in that consecrate. So in that consecrate, you have to have judgment down, you have to have exorcism down, you have to be able to swap to the lead room, put on cast holy wrath, swap back to consecrate, and then consecrate again. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it would be kind of a lot to do for sure.
I think what you do is you consecrate first, you pop wings and you fell iron bomb, and then you wait until you consecrate a second time, and then you swap immediately holy wrath. That way you have this buffer time between, because you just consecrated.
Yeah.
So you have this buffer time before you have to consecrate again, and you do big holy wrath with full vengeance, and then swap back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think you
or
definitely
snapper or whatever you
prioritize.
do.
You definitely prioritize the bomb or sapper immediately.
I mean, obviously sapper better, but so expensive to use those on every fucking like twice a boss.
I'm
trash.
using it. I'm using it on trash, man. I use goblin sapper,
I
regular
use them
sapper
a
on
lot.
trash. Yeah, just
I mean, if you
send
don't
it.
use sapper, why do you have an SP set? Like you're sweating with this SP set, so you might as well sweat with like
but
sappers.
it's a lot of money.
That dude, just send it, man. Just send it.
I know a guy.
I don't swipe.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
send it. Honestly. So I guess closing remarks here from the two guests, Facemask. Any closing remarks? Where do we find you? Where do we watch you? Are you streaming?
I do.
Closing remarks?
I do stream sometimes. I might pick it up more in BT. I don't stream as often as I'd like to, I guess, but it's twitch.tv/it's Jojo, to be honest, TBH. And I might stream GDKP on my priest or just Red Pally own in Karma, my boys. And so it's gonna take the opportunity to shout out my boys in Karma. Thank you for letting me be on the ride and own with you. It's been a blast so far.
MX, what about you, my man?
So I stream somewhat frequently. Shout out Grunegg. And I stream like maybe raid once a week, twice a week, maybe some other content here and there. Twitch.tv/Mxtricide. Pretty basic, just my name, easy. You don't have to follow me, but it's nice to see people in chat every once in a while.
It was honestly great having both of you on here and talking about a little bit of a tier 6 parsing. Serve, any thoughts? Any last thoughts?
Just thanks to you guys for coming on the show, and I think T6 is pretty straightforward. It's less of it relies on cheesing stuff like FLK. You couldn't really parse unless your guild skipped all the ads, and like Vash, you couldn't parse if you're on Ellie duty. I think tier 6 is just like everyone can really parse if their guild's decent, and I think I don't think we'll be as bad as some people seem to think. in phase 3. I think we'll still do pretty good damage, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Just gotta dodge the RNG in all the fights, and you're good to go, basically. Just an added element of RNG. I mean, we already the casino class, right? So you just gotta get those command procs, you gotta get Wind Fury procs, you gotta dodge the mechanics, and you'll be set for 99s.
Yep, agreed. Well,
Wait. I have a quick suggestion.
Okay.
Reckoning spec on Mother. The beams proc Reckoning.
No shot.
I mean,
no
if
shot.
you-
Fucking shot, dude.
If you can get the opportunity to go out and like actually,
And then you can bubble,
respect,
and
probably.
then you can bubble during the rocket boots. You know, you can bubble and go back and hit the
Hell
boss
yeah.
with bubble on.
With that sacred duty,
I mean,
man.
if you get the procs with the Reckoning, so your uptime is sick on Reckoning, it's gonna be pie DPS. And you can twist every auto as well. So
Yeah.
Coffee 1-1.
Huge,
Can
man.
be huge.
Absolutely. huge.
You'll have to put wisdom up, or else everyone will yell at you because it'll drop.
Pressing 2 fillers in between every single auto.
Oh man. Well, honestly, it's been a great one. I appreciate having you guys all here, and so for the next podcast, Serve, I think we're gonna do it in 3 weeks, guys. Is that correct, Serve?
Yeah. I think we'll take a 3-week hiatus here.
Yeah. Well, an extra week hiatus. So the next podcast we're gonna be doing on February 19th. We'll figure out what we're going to be doing for that one. I kind of want to do loot prio, maybe something like that. We'll talk a little bit about it. But hang tight on that, guys, and we'll let you know.
I was thinking a rec PvP episode would be really cool.
Well, I think we could definitely do another PvP episode for sure.
Because I'll have my shoulders by then, so I want to show them off.
Hey, man, you can't be talking. You can't be talking too early, man. I have done it before. You don't want to be doing that for sure. That's just my advice, But yeah, I appreciate having you guys on here, and it's been great for sure.
Thanks for having us. It's been great fun.
Yeah,
appreciate getting
thanks for having me.
And thanks for sitting in a really cool room, MX. I appreciate that.
I
can't believe he went through all the effort to set his room up like yours, Blaze.
Oh man,
yeah, I know, it's so crazy. Yeah. So this is now we're gonna end it with a MX hot tub stream. Appreciate everybody here watching. We will be back in 3 weeks with the next possibly hot tub stream. I'll let you guys know with the podcast. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out.